horizon that we're seeing is not physical. It's
No,
refracted.
nothing. You hold your hand out in front of you. Is that your physical hand you're seeing?
Correct.
No, it's not. Hold your hand out in front of you. Is that your physical hand you're seeing?
Correct.
No, it's not. Hold your hand out in front of you. Is that your physical hand you're seeing?
Correct.
No, it's not.
And we're off. Welcome to the show. BALLBUSTERS episode 111, the savage, merciless death of terrestrial refraction. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. We got our master of ceremonies missing today, the distinguished Nathan Oakley, because of technical difficulties. Hopefully he'll get his computer up and running. I know it's been wearing on him, but we're with you, Nathan. Get that monkey up. We have a second master of ceremony. He is part of the distinguished gentleman, Mr. Adam Meakin. Adam Meakin, sir.
Evening, everyone. Yeah, I'll try my best to fill in this evening. One of my favourite topics tonight, so it'll be easy. But we'll miss you now. I assume there's no problems. Hopefully, he's gone out and he's enjoying himself.
Yeah. Shout out to Betty. Betty, are you listening?
You've gone out enjoying myself.
Are you listening out there in chat? Perhaps not. Oh, it's going to be a fun one today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take this disheveled monkey refraction out back to the woodshed and just beat it senselessly. In fact, we don't really have to do anything. The subject matter experts, quote unquote, are going to do that themselves for us. So we're going to go inside and we're going to rip this to shreds from the inside out. I'm going to chop up their friggin' intestines and we're going to have refraction chitlins for my wolf pups. How about that? Can I get an amen?
I was just
Anyone?
wondering, have they addressed the Darwinian paradox yet?
Why would I address the Darwinian paradox?
Not you, the opponent. I'm sure you fished another confessional debating session out there. You fished one up. I'm just wondering, like, we figured out through the Darwinian paradox right after the Black Swan, like it's a complete deadlock paradox. No response to that ever.
Not going to get one. There's so many paradoxes and contradictions in this. It's evolution is out there saying, "Hey, hold my beer." This is what it reminds me of. Maybe not to the depths of evolution because it goes on and on and on and on and on. But refraction, it's right up there. But refraction's right up there. I would have to say personally. But the
Well,
problem,
it's a go-to, right? Just like
there we
gravity.
got Brian. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Kiwi. Hey, everyone. I was just saying hello to everybody. They've embraced it, Arwen. Arwen was asking. No, they've embraced it as their own. The whole paradox. They've embraced it. They've embraced and ignored it completely.
You mean compartmentalized it because you can't embrace a paradox because it's a paradox. You can only try to hide it and just prevent people from stumbling into it.
Oh, why don't you tell everyone what the paradox is?
Right, so yes, the terrestrial refraction is the claim, very roughly laid out, that light bends around the curve of a spherical Earth in order to yield a flat-looking result. That's really where it comes from. That's its function. Now, of course, the way that they do claim this, first off, has nothing to do with actual optics. It's basically a virtual optics that only exists in their geometry mathematics that assumes the radius value as a set value as part of the calculatory process to bend this light around the presupposed sphere. But because they have the value within the bending around the sphere effect of terrestrial refraction, they run into a paradoxical problem, which basically means that, because the horizon is no longer visually, optically in the position you would have it to be like the real position in order for you to measure it and establish a measured radius value for your presupposed spherical Earth. Well, because terrestrial refraction no longer has it in its place, you can't measure that radius value that you have to use and apply it to terrestrial refraction. So it undoes itself, like within the mathematics.
That's my 1B
you can't
proof.
get the value it's using because of its claim.
You need to be more concise, for God's sake. State the paradox quickly and concisely, Brian.
Hey, this is the paradox after my name, so I was just filling in.
We don't need the fluff.
We do need the fluff. We need all the fluff. Right? And at least there's no Nathan out to immediately cut me off.
Right. Yeah. He's out in chat, though.
What they're doing is they're basing a calculation that they're calling refraction on another on an unmeasured R value as support for the unmeasured R value. That's what they're doing.
That's part of it. But I usually prosecution rests at 1A. We'll get there. But you could go that route. I'm not saying that that's wrong. There's a number of different ways that you can destroy this, right? From, like I said, from the inside out. Take your pick. But I usually go with 1A. And you'll see 1A here coming up here shortly. But you're, like I said, you're still correct.
Thank you.
I would say you can't use R as a denominator or the bending of light if the way in which you're going to derive R is through optics.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't use R if it's not being measured. No one measured this R, so how can you use it as the background calculation or the backbone of the unbending of an R or unbending of an arc length? Because that's what they're doing. What they're claiming is the globe is a constant arc length. It's not even a circle, because they're claiming a constant of at least 7/6.
7/6.
At least, yeah.
I'd like to go a step beforehand and ask them to define refraction. Let's go after that monkey first, right? To see if they understand it. Because in 8 years, I'm serious, that I've confronted almost each and every Baltar, because this refraction thing's been going on for a while. Long before the Black Swan. It really took off with the Black Swan. However, it was still out there, right? It was one of the first things I heard when I came out here was refraction, right? Not a single baller. I'm on it. This is honest to God. Not a single baller that I've confronted to define refraction has done so correctly. Not one. Have you found anyone?
No, they're in a they completely don't understand, a complete misunderstanding of their own claim even. Like you're saying that they haven't they've never defined refraction. They don't know what it is, and they don't even know what their own globe claim is.
Yeah, exactly.
They think they're
hold on.
bending. Yeah.
I deal with ballers on my show regularly. Not that I even bring up flat Earth or globe arguments that much, because everybody starts going at each other then. So all of a sudden, but in my experience, they do understand actual refraction, the actual optics, refraction, how that works, how it changes.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No,
but here's the thing. No, let me do it. They do understand it, but then they, at the end of presenting the basics, basically start to convolute it and then draw in the fantastical terrestrial refraction. So it's almost the same kind of process as with the Coriolis effect. They do get it, that first little bit, and then they start adding on the nonsense version.
No, they don't.
They don't, Darwin.
Let me agree with Arwen. I was going to say a similar thing. I think if you were to question them on refraction, to give you an example. Look, that's on screen now about Snell's law and refraction. What they'll try and do is muddy the waters on that journey between what refraction is defined as, and then what that's got to do with how we see things on a ball. That's the unclear bit of the journey where they'll muddy the waters. But I don't doubt they can cite what refraction is.
They didn't know what
They
Snell's...
switched briefcases.
They didn't know what
switched
Snell's... Hold
briefcases.
on. They didn't know what refraction was in relation to Snell's law until I told them. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'd take people like the Rumpus, where we've had those conversations. Yeah.
He didn't know it either.
What they'll try and do is they'll try and play on your ignorance and convert from that knowledge, those facts, and pretend that somehow and I'm air quoting, the atmosphere creates conditions that are applicable for the application of Snell's law.
The hell you say,
That's
sir?
the switcheroo.
The hell you say? Yeah, maybe after what I told them. Maybe after
All right,
they
you
went
can
off.
have the fact that you told them what Snell's law is. I'm not asked about that. I'm just saying that's where they'll conflate and hide and switcheroo.
Most
it's not
of them,
on the definition, it's on its application.
most of them don't
they
even. Most of them don't. Hold on, Brian. Most of them don't even know when they say refraction and they get challenged, and you say Snell's law. They are totally unaware that it's even associated with it.
That's a separate issue. That refraction issue it's a little Tourette'sy from them. Yeah, but that's a poker tell, isn't it? It's a panic sign. Invoke that as an instant defense mechanism. I like that. I don't think that says anything either way of the user of refraction, whether that individual knows what Snell's law is or not. I'd say your more higher end anti-flat earthers would be able to tell you what Snell's law is, and then they try to mug you off into it having application.
Yeah.
With regards to.
All right, fair enough. Go ahead, Brian.
Right, it's an emergency bunker type of argument. Just throw up that wall,
Doesn't
and it
sound
doesn't
like
fix
Brian.
anything. But hey, sometimes I sound like Brian.
Do it in an Irish accent next time, Owen, and see if you get away with it.
All right, I will.
That's the worst Irish accent ever. What they do is they conflate an air density gradient
Yeah.
with two different media.
That's
It's
one
supposed
problem.
to be a change of media. That's one of the problems they do.
They're gonna get into big trouble with that today. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And Brian, I'm gonna bring it up anyway. If I don't bring that back up, but go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, and that what they're doing there has still nothing got to do with over 6R. They don't know what over 6R is. None of them know what it is, because they keep on needing to try and hijack reality and somehow bend light, around the ball, which is not what's happening. That's not the globe claim. It's not that light is bending. That's not the globe claim. But because they have to address actual refraction, the closest they get to it is conflating a pressure gradient with two media, and then trying to somehow make it work in their minds.
You said a point there, Bright. It's not a globe claim. No, it's not. A glober would claim that we do light travels in straight paths. This fundamentally is an anti-flat Earth.
Yeah.
We've got light bending at a rate of 7/6 of a
Correct.
paradoxically unmeasurable thing. It is an anti-flat Earth claim. It's not taught to kids at school. Yeah. Kids are taught you can only see as far as the geometric horizon. That's why things disappear. This is an anti-flat Earth response to, in their minds, them being shown that they're seeing too far. Why are they seeing too far? Well, they can't reconcile it. So the only thing that can happen is for light to now bend. This is their mental band-aid.
But the light is not even bending within their own claim. Most of them don't even know their own claim. Most of them look at Metabunk and don't realize what's actually being claimed. It's not bending of light. It's the unbending of their globe.
In that
That's the difference.
specific, no. Better stop doing that, Mr. MC. No, you always do that. No, you need to unpack that, Brian, because a lot of people are confused. I'm going to tell you, a lot of flat earthers are going to be confused out there with your last statement. Then Adam can come in, unless he already left.
Yeah, that's why I was coming in, but you go first.
Yeah, what it is the changing of an effective radius. That's what it is. They're 7/6, which is the constant. They claim as that it's the least amount that's always constant. So there's always 7/6 at play and greater than 7/6 at play, which means that what is 7/6? It turns a circle, which of the circle of the globe, right? Let's say their globe, into an arc length. Not so it doesn't. So the two ends of the globe don't touch. And greater than 7/6 just unbends that arc length more and more. And that's what they must do to explain how the horizon can be behind 2 oil rigs from a 1 foot, 10 miles away from a 1 foot observation height.
And it
That's how
doesn't.
they must tell themselves.
It doesn't
What?
have anything to do with their paradoxical paradigm of refraction, though, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with this bending of light through a pressure gradient. Absolutely nothing to do with it.
Is that what
See,
you were going to comment on, Adam?
Just to kind of, let's not defend the ballers, but to explain what they do. And I find what they do and why they do it very interesting, considering all optics are studied on.
Stop mumbling, Adam. And then they're not ballers.
Considering all optics are studied on Earth, it's very interesting what they do and the assumptions they have to make. As Brian says, what they do is that basic assumption that this 7/6R. Now, things like the black swan, we go to much greater distances. And
hold on, Adam. Brian, your mic's back feeding.
Oh, sorry, I'm off mute. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Adam. Sorry about that.
things like the black swan, and a lot of the Blackpool stuff, they'll go to greater distances and invoke different ratios, 40/6R, things like that. So much larger things. What is this over 6R? In of itself, it's a statement that light no longer travels in straight lines in the air. I'll use the term atmosphere, because this is, challenging a baller's thinking. In the air, light no longer travels in a straight line. It actually curves downwards to rate not equivalent to the surface curvature of 6/6R, but slightly less, 7/6R, so a bigger circle. So it's not, you're still going to get, things aren't going to come around and be able to see your own bum, as the rumpus would claim. With 6/6R, this eventually will have an effect of the cumulative curvature, but not as much. So we're curving. There's an initial statement against all known physics that this light is now curving as it travels through the air.
I'd have to disagree with that.
Let me just finish the explanation. The way, and this is where I come to. This is apparently how we've always measured the behavior of light in the air on the Earth. For things to make sense to them, what they have to do to be able to explain things like the black swan picture is keep the light traveling straight. Okay, and the resolution they put into place is to apply the rate of change, which should be the rate of change of light not traveling straight. The rate of change is then applied to the R value of the Earth. So dependent on, it's just your standard, as Brian's saying, your standard 7/6R, and your radius is now 7/6 of what it was, with straight lines. So you still got the obstruction, but you can see a bit further. In the case of the black swan, we've got a 40/6R. Yeah. Now what they've done here is make the ball bigger. Light still traveling straight, but to fix the band-aid in their head, the only way they can resolve it is have this ever-expanding R value. Yeah. And that's how they fix it. Light still, in their world, and the way they calculate it, light still travels in straight lines, because that's what it does. Yeah. But the way in which they reconcile it for why they're seeing too far is to pretend that light is bending, knowing that they've got no data or knowledge of how to express that, even though they're supposed to be on a ball. The way in which they do it is to expand the ball to the size that's required, the R value, to accommodate for the amount of light curving that would be required for you to be able to see basically the black swan image. That's the switcheroo they do, and how they then present those numbers to justify that you're on a ball. It is nonsensical, because, like I say, the rate of change is now the R value, as opposed to the outlandish claim that there's a rate of change of curvature of light traveling. I think I've finished.
Well, when I said I would have to disagree with you, I think maybe what you were saying at the start was more what I was disagreeing with. But what you're saying afterwards, it's kind of what I was going to say, in disagreement of what you were saying at the start. So I don't know if I picked you up right now. Basically, it all comes down to the horizon. You can see the horizon in a straight line. Your eye line is straight to the horizon. You're seeing it in a straight line. It's not. Your eye line and the light. You're not bending down over something to see the horizon. The horizon ends up being too far for it to work for their geometric globe. So what they need to do is they needed to come up with something mathematical that would explain how that horizon can be behind those two oil rigs, 10 miles away from a 1 foot observation. Just as an example, but every horizon within their claim, never has there been a horizon in history, not ever is there now, and never will there be in the future, a horizon that will match the geometric 3959 globe. They claim basically that the horizon will never match that mathematically. It'll always be further than it would be if we were on a 3959 radius globe. It'll always be further. So what they needed to do was unbend their globe to allow you to see this further away horizon in a straight line. Because even their maths, I looked at some of their maths, you can do their maths in a linear fashion, in a straight line fashion. You can literally use the over 6R, just take the R out of it, and just use the distance. And it's the same maths, more or less, without the R. It's kind of stupid. But that's what they do. They need to explain, how can that horizon be behind those two oil rigs? And it's not an explanation, it's rubbish. That's all it is, just rubbish, mathematical rubbish that helps them maybe sleep at night, I don't know. Finished.
I assume Kiwi's gone for a banana or
No,
something.
I'm still here. My wife came in at the exact moment that he stopped talking. So this is a convoluted gaggle screw of a mess because we got a bunch of theys. Right now, Adam said they. I don't know which they he's talking about, for one thing.
They, as in anti-flat earthers. This is an anti-flat earther argument. So when I'm talking about this, particularly 7 over 6R, 10 over 6R, infinite over R, this is not a ball claim. This is an anti-flat earther. This is a construct that's been built up on with the past 4 or 5 years based on the obvious being pointed out to these people. This is their rebuttal and their denial of what they see. Yeah? So apologies if I keep saying they, but in this context, they are specifically anti-flat earthers. This is not, you're not going to see Neil deGrasse Tyson claiming this.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not going to be able to do it because, like I said, even their own subject matter experts, I'm not talking about anti-flat earthers or globers, I'm talking about the subject matter experts in these areas of refraction, Snell's law, they're going to undo themselves with their own words. There's a number of paradoxical contradictions. We're going to go over, you're going to see them here coming up in a few. Like I said, somebody hold their beer. Because this is preposterous, ludicrousness, absurdity, folks, at a fundamental retard level. You're going to see that. I've completed this presentation like 2 or 3 times in the past. Another little twist to it that I put on the ending to give you a better demonstration of it. But you're going to see this come shining through, and it's going to come shining through, no pun intended, relatively quickly. So I think I have 5 of them officially that you can use. I was talking to Adam a couple minutes before the stream started, and we were reminiscing about his favorite one. But I usually stop and start, or just stop with 1A. And we're going to get to 1A here in a few minutes because it destroys the entire refraction phenomena on a fundamental level. But you can use any of them. It just depends on how long they stay around before they start calling me names and stuff. It usually doesn't even last that long because, first of all, I asked them to define refraction, and they can't do it. And if they do it, they make something up. So when they hear the phrase define refraction, they think that they're defining it. No. When I ask you to define something, I want you to define it from a subject matter expert's point of view, not what you think it is, not your definition, you booger-eating schmucks. I mean, I want the actual definition of it.
That was my point earlier when I'm making that distinguishment. I'm saying this is dealing with anti-flat earthers, them, yeah, because QE is going to destroy it with the establishment ball earth response. Yes. These are all ballers. All these people live on a ball that we're going to destroy, or the QE will destroy it with. Yeah, it's like asking the Pope for a citation on Catholicism. That's what we're doing tonight. Yeah.
Yes.
It's I didn't. QA because I knew that idea. Yeah, it's on Catholicism. Yeah, you got the subject matter expert who believes in this, and he believes we're in a ball. We're going to use QA will use his words to destroy, and I say to destroy the anti-flat earthers. And
yes,
I said the rhetoric they've developed in rebuttal to bleeding obvious.
Yes. We might as well get on with it. No sense in building it up anymore, right?
I thought that was quite a good intro too.
I thought it was too. Yeah. That didn't require any it just flowed right into it, didn't it?
What the hell? Let's do it.
All right, 1 second. Hey, why is that on? That shouldn't be on. There you go. Ta-da! This is the beginning of the end for refraction. You guys all seeing this in Discord?
I was going to say we're not got a share in here yet.
You sure about that?
I have. I'm watching it in Discord.
I've got a share in here now. I was on the wrong screen. Your fault, QA.
I had preempted this. I anticipated and then preempted. This is a preemptive strike about 10 minutes before we started to go ahead and go live. And hit the share your screen, QE, right? And I already put it live in Discord, man. And now you're telling me that I can't see it? Come on, Adam. Give me a dang break.
That's a bit behind.
All right. First of all, before we get into refraction, a couple things. Now, it's like I said, this has been going on for many, many years. But it really, gathered steam right around the Black Swan because they didn't have any other choice to say refraction, but they unknowingly they crushed their own fairy tale by doing it. They still don't understand it. Most just do it because it's like a Pavlov dog reaction. Whenever you say Black Swan, then immediately refraction, right? Polywana refraction, because they just say it. It's just a natural reaction to them, right? They don't, like I said, they don't realize that they debunked the entire globetard with that one phrase that they say. That's pretty funny. And number two, I've been noticing a lot of not only, how would you want to say, newbie flat earthers, but seasoned veterans in flat earth give up refraction to the anti-flat earthers. They'll just give it to them. I couldn't, but it happened a number of times over the past 2 months. So I can't explain that phenomena unless they got like a hidden agenda to deal with another topic within refraction. Why don't you just kill refraction? I mean, I've been teaching on this for, I don't know, the whole time. Don't you know this? Flat earthers. You better get up to speed, sunshines. I mean, this isn't all that difficult, and I lay it out systematically. So there's no excuse. I'm not putting up with any more excuses from you. I'm going to tear you up.
I think...
Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut on you. I thought you were taking it. I thought you were after stopping your sentence. But what the stupid thing is that when the baller stops stating refraction, the flat earthers will still be stating it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
I can't watch it. I can watch very little flat earth stuff now. Very, very little, except for this and Nathan's. I listen to a little bit of flat sides. I can't watch it because flat earthers, and you see them in chat and everything else, it's just, they're a mess. I can't deal with them. So, unfortunately, the ballers will stop saying it before then.
Yep.
You don't watch David White's videos?
You're coming in really low, Arwen.
Oh, it's time again? Oh, great.
That time. And before we get started, shout out, is Flatsy in here?
Flatsy is present.
Present and accounted for.
Yeah.
So,
Original D Rose is here. What's up?
Original D Rose is here. I thought I'd get everyone in here because Nathan's show hasn't been going for at least, it's been over a week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You guys got to get your 10,000 words out. I know you do. That's what I figured it was going to happen. Now listen, Flatsy. Sorry, I transitioned poorly. I'm on to the next subject. Go on. Finish up what you want to say, D Rose.
No, I was saying I was in orientation, because I got the new employment. So all week I was in orientation. I had no time to see no show. So, but I read the Skype and saw that he had some technical difficulties. So I was looking forward to this one. I'm glad you did this one.
All right, cool.
So,
I think we got to be honest. I don't know if Nathan's still in chat, but I haven't got a Scooby Doo. How long it's going to be before the show's up and running? It doesn't look good. To be honest, because even if he gets that piece of shit working, how long is it going to work? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't, and he hasn't given any updates. I know he's struggling with it. Nathan, I got you, man. I know it has to be. You got to be pulling your hair out. You were pulling your hair out 6 months ago over it, so Lord knows where you're at this point. But it'll resolve. I want to say be patient, and I'm the most impatient person you'll ever meet. But so yeah, I don't want to play that.
If it was a horse, that computer, you'd put it down, wouldn't you? Call the vet.
Yeah, I would have to say Nathan had a lot more patience with it, and I understand why he needed to have patience with it. But yeah, I'd have put her down if it was me 9 months ago. But that's just me. That's another topic. Oh, by the way, Flatsy, if somehow by chance that we get some super chat, I want you to hold off on them, and you could do like at the end. Hopefully we have some, and at the end of the presentation, after we get done discussing, we can go over the super chats. Okay, but I don't want you to interrupt this presentation. Okay.
10-4.
10-4. 5x5. Good, buddy. All right. Anything else before we begin?
Yeah. Does that go for us all, or can I have a 5A excitement moment?
Nah, you can. Nah, if there's points that raise a weathered eye, you don't understand it, or I didn't explain it well, or something stands out. I don't want everyone trying to jump in. I don't want this presentation going on until late 2026. But you can go ahead and speak up. I'll stop.
I think D Rose would be a good one there. Not to go
I'm
off
sorry,
on.
what was that?
If there's a point in this presentation that you don't understand, just go. I didn't get that. You'll be you might even be a newbie to this presentation. I don't know the last time this was done, QE, but may or may not have seen this. So
yeah,
I have a point of excitement in the presentation, not a point of misunderstanding. I'm not being big-headed. I mean, there's a bit in it I really love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But D-Rose, I'll charge you with that. I'll stay quiet and for everyone else, unless D-Rose is wants to interrupt, we'll all stay quiet, I think.
It's just not D-Rose. I don't want interruption after interruption explaining little minutiae.
Everyone else has heard it a ton of times.
Any inquiries I have, I'll wait till after the show. And
okay, yeah, write them down. How about that?
Yeah.
Is that good? So, anything else before we begin?
Yeah, another thing. Write it down. You know, I heard somebody on YouTube say the other day, I can't read cursive writing.
Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of people in the that's been educated, quote unquote, recently can't even write in cursive.
Yeah, they took it out. It's a shame. It's a shame they took it out.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Complete sideways.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, Adam, because there's no cursive in here.
It's because you said write it down.
Yeah, but you don't have to write in cursive.
No, not necessarily. I was told I wasn't allowed, when I first went to the first year exams. Adam, think you've got any chance of passing? Just writing block capitals, will you?
Really?
Yeah, that's all I've done since what would it have been? 19. I struggle now to be able to do my old handwriting. It's so long since I've done it. There's only my signature I can do still.
Okay. Fair enough, Adam. You're right. Yep. I don't know why we're on this topic before. Refraction.
idea.
You're right. You're right. I could do my name really good, but if I try to, I'll bet you I can still. I'll do it after the show. Just a random sentence, right? And try to just cursive it out and see how good it comes out. It'll probably be a train wreck.
Right, I'll shut up.
That's fair enough. All right, refraction. Sorry. First, I want to start off with this photo. Every once in a while, I'll come by this presentation, and I know this photo is first, and I'll just pull up the presentation. I won't go any further. I just pull this up to look at this. This photo is so beautiful. I don't know who took this, but whoever did, shout out to you. It's so beautiful that it almost hurts. You guys understand that? I'm asking this rhetorically. It's almost overwhelming, if you can understand what I'm saying. Maybe I'm off the reservation, but every time I see this, it's almost like it's too much. Right? It has nothing to do with refraction. I just wanted to say that. All right. As long as you got that rhetorically, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. If you want this photo, get with my people and they'll get with your people, and we'll see what we can do. So, what are we going to do first here? Now, everyone's seen this before. Why is this jumping? We got some Pink Floyd action going on here. Now, this is actual refraction. Let me just state this, that we are not denying the existence of refraction. Okay? That's not what this is about. This is hyper-specific. What we are saying is terrestrial refraction is a fucking nonsense. It's an imaginary, made-up nonsense from somebody or a group of people that made it up that's so incomprehensibly absurd that, and you're going to see that over a few minutes. I'm not going to go into that, but I just like to say here, by the way, which one's pink? You following me? You tracking with me, Sunshines? Yeah. All right. Let's figure out.
Floyd.
Oh, here we go. He's going to start already. What?
No, I was being leery there with where's Floyd, but the reason terrestrial refraction exists is because in their world, it can see too far and it denies all the physics that they understand. That's why terrestrial refraction exists.
Exists?
It's a band-aid.
Or conjured.
No,
It's conjured as a mental band-aid. Yeah?
It's the personification of it's a sphere because it looks so flat.
All right. You're still too low. All right.
It's a sphere because it looks so flat.
That doesn't have anything to do with what I'm getting ready to talk about.
Terrestrial refraction exists because it's not a globe. That's why it exists.
Okay. Let's
It exists because it is a globe. Because
Oh.
it is a globe and I can see the black swan. And why can I see the black swan? Because, contrary to all my understanding, light must bend to allow the preservation of the ball. That's the purpose of terrestrial refraction.
I was asking the question rhetorically.
Oh.
It's a good explanation.
I don't disagree with Adam.
I agree with you.
All right.
It's perfect, Adam. You said it perfectly.
Yeah, he did.
Welcome to my
Yeah, he
world.
shouldn't
The
have
world
said
of
anything
Adam.
because it was rhetorical.
Yeah, so what? I just answer rhetorical questions. Who cares?
I care. Go on mute. All right, let's define this. We're not going to define this monkey. We're going to let them, we're going inside their paradigm. We're not attacking this from the outside out of ignorance. We're going to use the subject matter experts to destroy the subject matter experts. You're going to love it. You're going to reach self-actualization here in a few seconds. And then throughout the presentation, it's going over and over and over again. So let's find out what this monkey is. Now, I'm not going to there's a lot of things in this definition, in the first part of these definitions. I'm going to let it go. But I'm going to circle back, and we're going to destroy everything in these definitions. So just be patient. All right. First of all, what do they say? They, as in the subject matter experts, say refraction is. Well, it's real simple. Go find it. From the physics classroom, refraction is the bending of a path of a light wave as it passes from one material to another material. The refraction occurs at the boundary and is caused by a change in the speed of a light wave upon crossing the boundary. The tendency of a ray of light to bend one direction or another is dependent upon whether the light wave speeds up or slows down upon crossing said boundary. That is refraction, ladies and gentlemen. Okay?
Wow.
The formula, not the formula that they use, the equation they use is N material equals the speed of light over the reference material speed, right? Over that medium speed. It's the index of refraction, and it's a constant, just to let you know. We're going to be dealing with a little bit with this. I don't want you to overly focus on this because we're going to take it all apart, all right? I just wanted to show you guys what it is. What?
Like, I was just thinking, how would, if you wits it, how do you deal with that sentence?
Yeah,
If that-
don't worry about that. Well,
No, but do it. If that's the definition of refraction, how do you deal with it if light's speeding up and slowing down when it's not?
It's oh yeah, this definition,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
you got well, it depends on what time of the day that you ask them, I guess.
Well, yeah,
What?
correct answer.
Yeah, but light technically doesn't have a speed, right? So,
Exactly, but we don't want to go
Legally
down that
wrong.
road right now.
but it's a wrongful description.
Well, we're gonna get there. Relax. So,
Hey,
like I
have
said,
to be loud, otherwise I'm not heard.
yeah, I got you.
Sorry.
I got you. Just well, we don't want you to be heard just yet. All right, N equals the index of refraction, right? That's what this is giving you right here. The index of refraction. Same thing with this here. N sub 2(1) equals epsilon 1 over epsilon 2. It's what I'm trying to say. It's a ratio, right? That equals sine over the incident ray over the sine over the refractor ray. Don't worry. Don't let this confuse you. All I want you to know, it's a ratio. We're dealing with ratios here, okay? But don't get your panties in a bunch over this. If you don't understand this, don't worry about it. You don't need to, really.
It's important what that ratio is. Just scroll up and show what the ratio is.
What the hell are you
It's the
talking?
ratio of angle of two straight lines.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's the
And
point.
speed not involved.
Ratio is the angular change of the straight lines. There's no bending line.
We'll
Yeah?
get to
That's
that.
what index of... Sorry. Okay.
And no speed changes.
We're going to get to that. You guys better shut up.
Yeah.
All right. So just keep that in the back of your mind. We're going to be revisiting that here in a couple seconds. Not for too long, but we'll revisit it. So I'm going to give you the 5-dagger fistful of dipshitteries and then tear them apart with their own subject matter experts. That's what I'm going to do. So, number one, whenever ball-tards begat refraction, they're unwittingly invoking terrestrial refraction, ladies and gentlemen. Not refraction. Terrestrial refraction. You see that little adjective out in the front? That changes the game, right? We have the subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young, from San Diego State Astronomy Department. He's going to give you a little flavor of what he's talking about here. Listen closely, ladies and gentlemen. The atmosphere is also curved as it follows the shape of the Earth. In the calculations below, we'll adopt a rough value of 6,400 kilometers as the radius of curvature to make the calculation simple. All right, if you haven't seen it yet, let me clue you. This is a necessary antecedents consequent game. This is the consequent. In order for this consequent to exist, guess what else has to exist first? Yeah, you guessed it. The necessary antecedents. Here's one. I highlighted them for you, and here's one. You see the problems with this just yet? I'll go ahead and outline the issues. So, for terrestrial refraction to exist, like I just said, two conditions, that is, necessary antecedents, must exist. You must have curved gases in their paradoxical atmosphere. Remember, atmo means air. Air is a gas. Sphere is a shape. Gases have no inherent shape. See, this is 1A. This is where my prosecution rests, personally. Why? Because of these statements right here, these curved gases. Because if you think gases curve, that is, gases have shape, you'd fail first grade intro to gas behavior. And that's not hyperbole. That's literally from Christy Bodak, Southwestern University. Grade level. I will use this lesson with a first grade class. If an object is in a gaseous state of matter, it will not have a definite shape or a definite volume. So it's all over, just like I said. So, Andrew Thomas Young would fail intro to first grade gas behavior. Literally. So that's not just hyperbole, folks. That's hyperbole. No pun intended. So we all know this, right? If you need me to confirm it, I'll do it right here. Chem Liber text. Like liquids, gases have no definite shape. So are you getting it? Christy's not off the reservation here. You have a backup here. We all know this, right? I just wanted to put that in there just to confirm, okay? Let me finish it out. Like liquids, gases have no definite shape. But unlike solids and liquids, gases have no definite volume either. And while we're sitting here and we just read that, to everyone that begocks fluids and think that that word magically makes gases and liquids the same, you need to get frontal lobotomized. They're not the same. They just arbitrarily classify liquids and gases as fluids. Liquids are not gases. Gases are not liquids for quite a number of physical reasons. But I digress. Sorry about that. It was there for me.
But they
Fluid
both
is
flow.
not a definition.
Here we go. What?
Just
both
the way
flow.
Go on, Owen, you first, and then
I'm just saying they both flow. They're fluids. So
Here we go. Shut up.
They just want that property and they ignore the things that really makes them differentiate.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Go ahead, Adam.
No, the point I would make is that fluid is not a definition of a phase.
Correct.
Matter.
Good point.
Gas,
Say that again, Adam. A little louder.
Gas and liquid are phases of matter. Fluid is not. Fluid is a description of the behavior of the phases of liquid and gas.
Precisely.
Exactly.
And precisely. So I hope everyone got that. It's a very important point. I thought of that too, but Adam, thanks for catching up with it. Don't let that confuse you. All right? But that's a very important point. Fluid is not a phase. So let's go to point B. Remember I said I stopped at point A because I can do that. I don't need to go any further. The horse is dead. However, there are many who like the second necessary antecedent, right? And there's no problem with that. All right, so let's go through it again from the subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young from San Diego State Astronomy Department. I'm going to read it again. The atmosphere is also curved. Oh, by the way, atmosphere is a paradox. And the reason why is gases don't curve, but I digress. The atmosphere is also curved as it follows the shape of the Earth. In the calculations below, we'll adopt a rough value of 6,400 kilometers of the radius of curvature. Well, everyone knows the problem with that, right? That has to exist. So demonstrate where you got the radius of the Earth from. And then validate it. You have to. You have to do it on both. Remember, you have to have both of these because they're necessary antecedents to the existence of their terrestrial refraction. So it's common sense. If
Yeah, but
these
you
must...
can't measure it. Sorry.
So you have a begging the question fallacy radius wrapped in a contradiction in terms of paradox atmosphere. See, I don't even get the B. I just halt at A. It's all over for them right there. There's no way out. You can watch them squirm, right, when I bring this up, and they'll try to get out of it, but I won't let them out of this. I won't do it. I won't chase their idiot red herring fallacies out of it. I just keep hammering them here. But you do what you do, okay? But these two, one A and one B, killed. Number 2, Baltards must, listen up, ladies and gentlemen, they must invoke Snell's law. There's no way out of this because the law of refraction is Snell's law. Oh, boy. From their alma mater wiki. Snell's law, also known as Snell-Descartes law, and the law of refraction. You see this little thing right here? Yeah. You can't invoke refraction without the law of refraction. Duh. But I digress. Is a formula used to describe, listen up, the relationship between the angles of incidence and refraction when referring to light or other waves. We're going to destroy the waves. Don't worry about it. Passing through a boundary between two different isotropic media. They even give you examples: water, glass, or air. Right? We've had Lucy. You have some splaining to do. Every time you look up Snell's law, you're going to see something akin to this diagram right here. All right? And the equation. This is Snell's law for refraction. Everyone take a little look at this. Okay? The diagram first. We got air, the refraction index. Ooh, what's that variable with the subscript? Ni. That's the refractive index of air. And then we come down here and we see water. And that's Nr. That's the refractive index of water. What else do we have here? We have a boundary or surface they were talking about. Then we go up to the equation and say, uh-oh, we have N subscript I. That's refractive index of air, one substance, equals Nr. What's that? That's the refractive index of water. My point being, there's 3 points here. One, the first point, you have to have two different substances and a boundary between those substances. The Atmo has no boundaries, and it's only one substance. So they're in a complete, the anti-flat earthers are in a complete category error. If they would have brought up the recipe for a pineapple upside down cake, it would have had just enough relevance as they say, well, the Atmo that has different densities. That's not Snell's law. I just defined it. And every single diagram will show you it in spades. So it's Mock's next, man. It's over. And we're going to get into...
Don't move that.
Don't move that, huh? Go ahead.
This is what I was talking about earlier. And the claim is that light's bending. Okay, we're invoking refraction. This is what refraction is. Look. I think we're all familiar with what an angle is. See that theta 1, theta 2? They're angles. Now, if the light was coming in anything other than a straight path, we wouldn't
have an angle.
Would it?
No.
Light doesn't bend. It's this boundary change that they're trying to pretend is this bending. Now look at how light will change and refract, continuing in its straight path, refract in a different direction, is what's being invoked here. Look at what's required, but there's no bending. To get an angle, to define what refraction is, the refractive index, that ratio, it's a ratio of the angles. Angles require straight lines.
Very good point, Adam. As soon as you said theta, I said, I know where he's going. Very outstanding. He is sharp today, folks. Look out. I can tell these things. How many floggings? Not too many, right?
Can I give my very more oversimplistic version?
Very more oversimplistic.
Yeah.
That's a perfect sentence.
Yeah, it wasn't. Right. So yeah, every time actual refraction is attempted to be grafted into terrestrial refraction explanation, it's immediately undone by the very nature of it, of course. And
You're
you would require
Arwen,
a
you are
vertical
correct.
gradient.
But no one can hear you out there.
Oh, okay. Well, you require a, what do you call it? A horizontal gradient, where basically there's different gradients.
Don't you even
Just-
start with gradients.
Yeah, but the point is there is no gradient whatsoever that is vertical of nature, like into the distance. The
No.
only gradient
No,
that's there
that's
is
the opposite of
vertical
that,
there.
and I don't want you going there right now.
Oh,
No,
okay.
just to summarize, Owen, that Snell's law doesn't require a gradient of one isotropic media. Indeed, it's two different isotropic media where this is going to occur. That's the point, yeah? Not a gradient of one.
Yes,
That's
even
the
though they say
definition.
so, Arwen. Even though
I'm
they
on about what the definition of Snell's law is, not what the anti-flat earthers say.
exactly. And I want you to chill out. What your statement was? Your first statement was correct, Arwen. I don't want to. I just don't want that released yet. Just relax. You're starting to steal my thunder. Just relax with that.
It's just my basic is my volume better? It's
Yes.
basic understanding of refraction. It's just that you have to have that radical difference in medium, and that doesn't exist into the distance, and it would be crazy because it could only work one way. It's like it's a complete cluster screw
Yep.
as to the workings of refraction. It can never be made to work like terrestrial refraction.
Yes, sir.
It's physically impossible.
Yes. All right, just hold on to those thoughts. Like I said above, I had this above too. We'll just go over it briefly. The index of refraction, it's the same thing. N equals the speed of light over epsilon. The speed of light versus the epsilon is the refractive index of said material, whatever. And it tells you right here. N is the index of refraction. C is the speed of light. And epsilon is the speed of light in said medium. And this is the same slide I had above. All right. It's not don't worry about it. It's just that's the index of refraction. Now, I'm going to do the same thing again, just in a different pictorial. Here we got Snell's law. I want you to focus on what I have highlighted. We have two different isotropic media, air and water, and what do we have in between them? We have a surface. Ladies and gentlemen, gases, that is the atmo, doesn't have surfaces. That's a big problem, right? So it's got to be two different isotropic media. We got N1 and N2 up here again. So they have to be two different isotropic media. Period. Even if I grant them, I'm going to do this. Even if I grant them their idiot conjured, pulled out of their ass, well, it's different density gradients, QE. Really? Can you show me a horizontal density gradient? Listen to Adam.
It's a change in the incidental angle, okay, at surface boundary.
Yes.
Surface boundary between the two different medium. Surface boundary of the two medium. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
There is no surface boundary in one medium's varying gradient.
Exactly.
Surface boundary.
Yes. That's number one. And number two, you guys, these guys have lost the plot. They can't even, Formica is friggin' blushing. Formica has depth than the idiot Baltards. And not the Baltards, the pretender clown flat earthers. And the hell am I thinking of? Anti-flat earthers, sorry. It was right on the tip of my tongue. They don't know any of this. Is just, no pun intended, this is just surface stuff. This is right on the surface, folks. We didn't even get into it, and it's already destroyed from the inside. My wolf pups are loving this. Hopefully everyone's getting this. Yeah? This is the law of refraction. Simple. You can't get around it. And like Adam said, and like I said with my second point, just think about this. Right? Even if they say, doesn't regulate the temperature, QE, which is stupid. If I'm looking straight out at something, let's say the black swan photo, if I'm looking straight out, I'm looking horizontally. Are there horizontal gradients?
Somebody in chat thinks so. Refute Flat Earth says that cold, dense air has different refractive index than warm air. Therefore, Snell's law will apply.
Yeah, you go on thinking that, you retard.
No, but it's an interesting rebuttal as to how you would measure that. So the way in which they do that is to, as shown in the diagram, use water or glass or whatever with warm air above it. And at that surface boundary between the two medium, yeah, you can demonstrate a refractive index because there's a surface boundary between the two mediums, the two different mediums. That surface is where the incident angle will change at that point. Now, you can do that with warm air. You can do that with cold air against another medium. That doesn't fit the definition of Snell's law to say I've got warm air and cold air. Where is the surface interacting? Where is that surface between the hot air and the cold air? Unless you stick a sheet of glass between the two.
Exactly. One. Yes. You're in. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were going to start speaking.
Yes, you did. Go ahead.
Well, can I just start speaking at the same time?
Just go ahead.
Yeah, okay. They have a problem because when you're looking straight out, then the density of air is about the same close enough for what you can see, right?
Yeah.
But the temperature is also pretty much even as far as what you can see. So if you can see whatever 10 miles, then that temperature is about the same 10 miles away, and the pressure density of air is about the same, right? They're talking about cold and hot. The cold is up higher where there's less density. The warm is down close. The warmest air is close to the surface. So they're all over the place.
It doesn't matter anyway.
I know it doesn't matter, but it's still reality doesn't fit with what they need it to be.
They think
in that way.
That's even a category error. Like I said, that has nothing to do with Snell's law. Number one. Number two, there are no horizontal gradients, you booger-eating schmucks. Think about it. If you're looking at the black swan, let me pull the black swan up. 1 second. Jeez, oh man. You guys aren't going to see that in Discord. Just picture it. You know what it looks like. So if I'm looking out here, let's say I'm at 3 foot or 6 foot, doesn't really matter. I'm looking at the horizon. See, I'm looking straight out. That's horizontally, not vertically. There is no horizontal density gradient of air out to the horizon, you glue sniffing fungus munchers.
Well, Kiwi, technically, maybe there is some. The problem, though, hold on. The problem, though, is that whatever there would be so little over so much distance, if any, that it would always turn into insignificant, immeasurable little amounts.
It's nothing. Yeah, it's stupid on its face. So, A, let's continue. The married bachelor paradox atmosphere is only one medium, like we said. Get on up there. Damn. So you're toast right there. I mean, it's outside the parameters of the definition of refraction. B, the Dunning-Kruger numpty dipshit baltards only recourse? Tie Snell's law to a tree and feebly adulterate it with their Tootsie Roll dicks. After being found wanting and laughed at, snatch a baseball bat and proceed to Bob Euchre flail blindly at the demobilized damsel and invoke the married bachelor paradox paradox, curved gases. It's the only thing they can do. So you can't do that because you'd fail first grade intro to gas behavior, but they'll do it anyway because they have no honor. They have no dignity. You don't think so? Watch this little snafu. From the subject.
Yeah.
What?
I just want to go to one because that's what you've heard me interject at points when I get a little bit excited. Yeah, but it's 1A. It's this A. Yeah, this is a paradox. It's the point I kept repeating. It's one medium. It's a surface change. Yeah, It's not, and this is the point. All you need to make to them. You don't need the science. It's not applicable.
Yes.
What you're claiming is happening. Yeah, two medium surface. Yeah, is required for Snell's law. They're not claiming that. They're claiming one medium gradient change. So they can't use Snell's law and therefore the term refraction.
Exactly. Yep, exactly, Adam. You got it. Let's head back. I'm going to show you what they do. What they're going to. Andrew Thomas Young from San Diego State University is going to Tootsie Roll Dick adulterate it right in front of your eyes, folks. He's going to adulterate this right in front of your eyes. Watch how he does this. Snell's law, again from Andrew Thomas Young, San Diego State University, Astronomy Department. Listen up, folks. Snell's law gives the quantitative change of a direction of a ray of light in passing from one medium to another. The product n sine z is the same on both sides of a plane interface. Look at this, Adam. You see this? We're going to come back to this. That's not my point. It just hit me. I digress, folks. Let me go ahead and start over. Snell's law gives the quantitative change of direction of a ray of light in passing from one medium to another. The product n sine z is the same on both sides of a plane interface between two media. Uh-oh. That's a problem, and this is going to be a big friggin' problem here in a second. But I digress. It's not my point. Where n is the local refractive index and z is the local angle the ray makes with the normal to the interface. See the refraction page. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Thomas Young must give you this definition for Snell's law. Do you know why? Yes, because that's the definition of Snell's law. Now, watch what he does. He's going to adulterate it with his Tootsie Roll dick, like I said above. Watch what he does. Next sentence. In the curved atmosphere, Snell's law, presto magico, becomes nr sine z equals constant, where r is distance from the local center of curvature. See the page especially devoted to this refractive invariant. You mean refractive retard. Do you see what he just did, ladies and gentlemen? It's subterfuge.
Yeah,
He just train wrecked his above statement, which he had to say. He just imploded. This is a mind-numbing paradox within a paradox. Go ahead, Brian.
About to say this is the mother of all paradoxes. This one.
Yep.
Yeah. This is his own intellectual paradox. Everything he's done and built up to, in terms of his statements, the formulas he's derived, everything, and has been built upon a flat plane. Yeah, everything he's derived, everything he understands, all his understandings come from that flat travel of light. Then he makes the statement, however, given everything I've said and calculated and formulated prior to this, in the curved atmosphere, because he's not in a curved atmosphere, is he, when he's formulated this? But in the curved atmosphere, when I'm now living on a ball, Snell's law becomes.
Yeah, presto magico. This is not Snell's law, ladies and gentlemen. Because I just showed you what it was a number of times. That ain't it. He just conjured it. Like I just said, if you weren't paying attention, let me go back up here. B, the Dunning-Kruger numpty dipshit baltard's only recourse is to tie Snell's law to a tree and feebly adulterate it with their Tootsie Roll dicks. That's what Andrew Thomas Young just did. After being found wanting and laughed at, snatch a baseball bat and proceed to Bob Euchre flail blindly at the demobilized damsel and invoke the Mary Bachelor paradox, curved gases. That's exactly what he just did. Within the same definite, he did it within the same breath.
It's
This-
full of violations.
This debunks this. You can't make this up, folks. You're seeing it right in front of your eyes. I don't know what else to tell you if you don't see it.
How, if the atmosphere is not curved, how was Snell's law derived? See, if Snell's law is derived from reality of a curved atmosphere, then it is what it is. You don't need to take something you've derived from reality and apply it to reality, do you? It doesn't change, does it?
No.
It stays the same. That's the paradox. Are they his words?
Yes.
Does he? My God. So in a he actually says that.
Yes.
Well, then that is the ultimate paradox and the ultimate intellectual failure of himself.
It's just
It's
stupid.
him
It's retarded on its face.
It's like Ranty, isn't it? It's like Ranty coming and going, yeah, it's clearly curved. Look at that picture of Blackpool, the clock tower.
Adam,
Man,
there's more meat on this bone, and it hit me. Just hit me. I must have read this 100 times, probably more. Look at this. Watch this. The product N sin Z is the same on both sides of a plane interfaced atom between two media. Where's the plane interface with gases?
where's two media in a?
There's not.
And a mixture, a gradient change of air. There isn't, and that's why it's disgusting. Him to make the statement that any of this is applicable in his curved atmosphere, yeah, is the lie. I use that word here genuinely because that's what he's doing. He's lying. He understands what Snell's law is. He's made the statements. He understands that even in his world, the atmosphere is one media. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lie from somebody of that level of knowledge to put that sentence together. That's why I said, are they his words?
Yes.
That's shocking, isn't it? Then, and why would he need to bastardize his work that he took from reality to fit what? What's it fitting? Not reality.
He's just contradicting himself.
Yeah.
I wanted you to comment on this.
It's a plain interface. Well,
Between two media.
Yeah. Well, you can pick on the plane interface, yeah, which when if you're doing your little light things in a lab, physics, and you've got your convex and your concave surfaces, you're creating tangents at the point of intersection of your incidence angle. Now, there's ways of always there's two media.
Yeah, it's a plane interface. I showed you a bunch of times with the diagram. Here's the plane interface, ladies and gentlemen. You see it? Plane interface. It's all over this. It's in every time you look up Snell's law, you're going to see plane interfaces in the diagrams. Where's the plane interfaces in the Atmo?
Also, how do you have a plane interface on a globetard?
You can't. That's another subject that you had to bring that one up. We can slope a dope on another day, Flatsy.
I'm sorry.
That's what they're trying to invoke. Multiple changing tangented plane interfaces, which is generated by a curved atmosphere and light traveling straight. So as the density gradient changes as you traverse, it creates a plane interface, and that's the main point of contention that I'll keep making.
I'm sorry, Adam. I'm gonna need plane interfaces, horizontal plane interfaces in the Atmo.
Well, I was forgiving him that and saying you can create incidental tangents all along the path, but there's still only one media, so I don't really care about that because it doesn't matter. It's one media, so there isn't anything to satisfy
There's
the
no
definition
interface. Yeah, exactly.
of the interface. Yeah.
Well,
but I'm still.
Hold on. According to Refute Flat Earth, you don't need planes in Snell's law.
Oh, brother. All right. We're gonna move on from this. We're on to
That's what I'm saying. You can invent tangential points of interaction.
No, we don't want to go down that road. They're tangential points. No.
Let me finish. That tangential point is theoretically a plane you create at the point of intersection. It's still the same thing. Yeah. You're just dealing with a curved media.
Adam, there are no horizontal, Adam, there are no horizontal plane interfaces, dude.
There is no media change, be that media change a flat plane or a curved surface. There is no media change. That's the only point that's worthy of note to me.
All right, fair enough.
The definition requires two media, not a density gradient in one.
And even if it was a density gradient, it wouldn't be horizontal. So that's what they did. So what Andrew Thomas Young did was abracadabra, gonna reach out and grab you, pixie dust from the curved Atmo and Gondor. That's what he just did to you. Hope it feels good. So the booger-eating, ball-tarred, tootsie-roll dick, shape, shift, delete, the quintessential tenet of Snell's law, two different isotropic media via substituting a paradox, curved gases, atmosphere, into Narnia, then presto, magico, voila, bagak, refraction. That's what he just did to you, folks. He thinks he can get away with it, too. Obviously, or wouldn't have printed it. Fanatical, paradoxical, religious zealot retards. That's what we got here, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to see him try to get out of this one. So somebody go get him and bring his dumb ass in here. One more tiny issue. Lack of precision. I bring this up every time. I'll leave it with you. You make the decision. So let's do this. You've seen this definition before. Let's go over this. From the physics classroom, refraction is the bending of a path of a light wave as it passes from one material to another material. The refraction occurs at the boundary and is caused by a change in the speed of a light wave upon crossing the boundary. The tendency of a ray of light to bend one direction or another is dependent upon whether the light wave speeds up or slows down upon crossing the boundary. Okay, you guys got that definition, right? Everyone's seeing it. Hold up, Adam.
Boundary. Just boundary. I'm not being a dick. I'm serious. It's easy to say the boundary. Yeah. What is the definition of the boundary? It's not a density gradient. It's the transition between one material to another. That is the definition of boundary.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Nothing else. Not the same thing getting a little bit more dilute. That is not a boundary.
Yes, sir. That is correct. But in this diagram, I'd like to show everyone, listen, we have all the prerequisites for what they call refraction from this definition. We got two different materials, air and water. The refraction occurs at the boundary. We have the boundary. It's a plane interface, right? We have light coming in. The tendency of a ray of light, so we have a light wave coming in. We have everything needed for refraction. Guess what's happening here, folks? No refraction. The refracted ray does not deviate.
Got you. Got you. Right. So, yeah, okay. So I understand now. Yeah? Because the actual calculation or refractive index requires a flat plane. Oh yeah, I understand why you got excited earlier. Yeah, you can't do that without a flat plane. That's how you calculate it. It's the incident angle across a flat plane. So by definition, it is defined via its interaction on a flat surface. Like it.
I'm just saying. You know, I got what you're saying, Adam. I think. Is somebody trying to interrupt us? Wait, somebody. What's going on?
Refracted curvatures, hot micing.
Hold on a second, folks. Can somebody mute him? All right, folks. I'm gonna have to go mute.
All right. I'll give you that. That was really cute.
I had to take care of that, folks. Sorry about that. Refracted curvature. You even told me you weren't coming in because you knew your mic was going to be a train wreck. Or your internet was a train wreck. Same thing.
His mic was fine.
His mic was fine, yeah.
But
All
I
right.
think just to get us back on track. I think I get your point. What you was alluding to earlier. Yeah. By the very calculation itself, it requires that flat plane and the angle of incidence to change to calculate it as you intersect across that flat boundary layer. You can't do it on a wobbly curvy. You don't do these things. You don't calculate it on anything other than a flat boundary layer, do you?
I'll just leave that out there for everyone. That's a small, I don't know if it's a minor point. It's not one of my main points, but I found it interesting. You got another problem. To establish the efficacy of Snell's law, please show photons as friggin' waves. Why? Because in every single definition of refraction, it has waves. From their alma mater wiki, Snell's law, also known as the Snell-Descartes law and the law of refraction. We went over these before, folks. Sorry for the redundancy, but my points need to be supported. Is a formula used to describe the relationship between the angles of refraction when referring to light or other waves passing through boundary, right? You see that?
No.
What are you doing now?
Scroll back up. Why do they need this? I often pondered on this. Waves don't work very well in terms of angle of incidence. Go up to the one where you're coming just straight down. Right? That lovely, right? Waves schmaves, they're going to do something different at that boundary. In fact, they're bombs. They're individual things. They go pshoo, straight down. The boundary layer makes no difference to the trajectory. If I fire them in at different angles, if it's just like ball bearings, I know what's going to happen. They're not going to carry on the same trajectory, those individual particles. I've got no need of waves to comprehend that.
They don't have waves anyway.
I know, but what I mean, sometimes it's easier to imagine things as a wave, the whole complexity as a wave pattern, how it resolves. Certainly in terms of refractive index, I find it much easier in terms of particles. It works much more sensibly as a particle.
It would have to. But they got big problems, Adam.
Fundamentally, because it is.
They got big problems. Like I said, I'm going within their own paradigm. Their own subject matter experts are contradicting each other. And that's the reason why I said, well, to establish it, you have to show friggin' waves because waves are all over these definitions. From the physics classroom again, refraction, where do we find? Ray of light, light wave, light wave, 3 times in this section. Rot-row, Shaggy, you got a big problem. Why? Because Richard Feynman and the chair of physics at Yale tell you that light's not a wave. From Richard Feynman, the first thing Newton believed light was corpuscular. Turned out that it had very strange properties from that point of view, and it was then explained that many of these strange properties were because, in fact, it was a wave, which was wrong. Turns out he was right. It was a particle. Uh-oh. From the chair of physics at Yale, Professor Shankar, everything is really particles, all things, electrons, photons, protons, neutrons, they are all particles. So let there be no doubt about that. That's some pretty strong language right there. He must know something. What I'm saying here in pointing out that there are contradictions paradox embedded within their own paradigm. These guys are baltards. The same as Andrew Thomas Young. Where are you getting the waves at? They're calling light a wave. No, it's not. But you need that for your fairy tale refraction. So, show photons as friggin' waves. Anti-flat earthers. Best wishes. You like how I did that, didn't you? Yeah, you better like it. Number 4. To invoke Snell's law, you must know the one-way speed of light. Why do I say that? Is Brian still in here? He's gonna chime in and pipe up. Oh, so why do they need?
I was waiting.
Was he just waiting?
Just give him a second. He might be struggling to get to it. Come on, you can't say that without Brian into
I don't want him to interrupt now, but he's going to interrupt at the end of it. So 4, like I said, again, to invoke Snell's law, you must know the one-way speed of light. And you say, well, why is that, QE? I'll tell you why. Because refraction is defined everywhere you look by a change in the speed of light. So how do you evaluate the speed of light when you don't know it? From Hyperphysics, Georgia State University, refraction is the bending of a wave. Here we go again, another wave. When it enters a medium where its speed is different. Different from what? That's what I said right here. Speed is different from what? To calculate the difference between you must know the one-way speed of light. Not going to happen. It'd be easier sprouting Japanese maples from your armpits to know the one-way speed of light, folks.
This is what does my head in, right? That explanation. The reason the angle of incidence changes is because there's a change in the speed. You take your throttle off your car. Do you go in a different direction? No, right? If you plow into water, right? You move, don't you? You two things happen. Your direction changes because the medium you're in has changes, and your speed changes because you've gone into a more yeah. I don't. Like I say, I don't profess to understand that. I have my own understanding, but back in the day, I never understood that explanation. All right, I've slowed down. Well, why am I going in a different direction then? Yeah, that's not an explanation of the angle of incidence change.
Nope. Now, I did caveat this. First of all, shout out to Betty. As you noticed, Betty, I didn't use broccoli this time out of your armpits. I used Japanese maples. Hopefully that's better. And I'd like to caveat this. If they're comparing two convention speeds, then I may relent on this point. Key word, I may relent. But in actuality, objectively, they're screwed.
I think I just did relent on that point because it's kind of irrelevant. If you want to invoke different speeds as they're going through the air and then the glass, whatever, I don't care. Different, fine, lovely, makes sense. Covered. Has it gone in a different direction? That's what I'm asking here. That doesn't explain that.
Nope.
They can have it. It's kind of irrelevant again because what's required? Have two different speeds in two different media. You need two different media.
Yeah, you do. And Adam, we're getting up to your favorite, number 5, and you
see
just,
number 5 creeping up.
You just rumpus the whole damn presentation, and now we're into 5. You're just going to go off, aren't you?
I'm going to be so quiet, it'll be strange.
Yeah, right, you will. You let me finish, and then you can have your way with her, all right?
Be a good boy.
All right, number 5. Even if we play Be Kind to Dumb Animal Ball-Tard Booger Eater Week, granting them all the married bachelor paradoxes. Let me remind you what those paradoxes are, folks. There's 5 of them. Curved gases, Snell's law, Tootsie Roll Dick adulteration, the waves catastrophe, the one-way speed of light, and Bubby Baruni's fairy tale radius value. If you can count, there's 5. Right? The Snoz particle chefs are still toast. It's a difference without distinction. They're booger eaters. There is no 5 times paradoxical refractive phenomena that takes the geometric horizon that they don't have and jettisons it 10 times farther than it should be. Now, I'm going to point it. Just give me a few minutes and I'll get to that. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm going to show you this in spades, just not right now. Okay? Just remember I said this, right? Kablooey spinning space monkey surfers. Now it's going to get fun. P.S. 5A, baby. Rays. Where's Ray? Let's find out where Ray is, shall we? This photo's pretty cool. It doesn't look like a photo, though. It looks like a painting. But I digress. So let's check this out. From Andrew. No, this is from Andrew Thomas Young. This is from Hyperphysics. We'll get to Andrew, subject matter expert, right here. He's got some splaining to do. He's going to try to explain it in different ways in different documents. It's going to be hilarious, folks. So, and I know we've seen these definitions before, just entertain this, humor me. Refraction is the bending of a wave. Yeah, that's hilarious. When it enters a medium where its speed is different. That's pretty funny too. The refraction of light when it passes from a fast medium to a slow medium bends the light ray. You see these rays? They're all over the place in these definitions. So we got a ray right here, and then down to the subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young, the way he defines it. Remember we brought this up, this train wreck of a monkey disaster? But in his definition, he's got rays everywhere, doesn't he? We got a problem, Andrew Thomas Young, because like I said, in the next document, this is what he states. Listen to this closely, folks. This is going to go back to the horizontal gradients too. Listen to what he says. Some people have worried about how to apply the refraction law. Why are they worried? Number one, maybe they're worried because of this or the 5 paradoxes that I just mentioned. Maybe those, but I digress. Check this out, folks. Some people have worried about how to apply the refraction law to a horizontal ray of light. This is really important because it does not cross any horizontal boundaries, folks. This is what I was talking about above. Horizontal density gradients. I know we're on to rays, but this is going into horizontal boundaries and to plane horizontal interfaces. From denser to less dense air in a stratified atmosphere. Yeah, your stratified paradox is stratified vertically, not horizontally, Holmes. You dumbass cracker. But I digress. Let's get back on rays. Listen to this, folks. He's saying rays. Everyone's saying rays. He just said ray above. And in his own document, it's a different document. Listen to this. In general, the curvature of the ray is different from the curvature of the Earth's surface. But here we are only concerned with rays that bend just enough to follow the curve of the Earth. You can't make this up. Here comes the rub. The simplest solution to the horizontal ray paradox. Now listen closely. He's not giving you a solution. He's giving you an admission of retardedness. Listen to this. The simplest solution to the horizontal ray paradox is to remind ourselves that rays that's spoken about in all their definitions are an unrealistic mental construct. In reality, we always have a beam of light. Infinitely narrow rays don't really exist. So how are they describing a phenomena in all their definitions with rays in physical reality and have them not exist in reality at the same time? How you like that? 1 second, Adam. And then he goes on. And hold on a second, Adam. I'm gonna scroll back up. And finally, in a completely separate document, he confirms it again. In the diagrams below, heavy lines represent rays of light. If you are not familiar with this conceptual fiction, please check the Optics for Beginners page before continuing here. He's speaking to you, anti-flat earthers, because you need to go back and check the Optics for Beginners because you're numpty dipshits. And we've just blown this whole thing right out of the water. What's the word I'm looking for? I give the floor to Adam Meakin.
Thank you, sir. That last bit, he almost redeemed himself because it's like satanic law, isn't it? They have to tell you the truth, yeah, because he's telling like, not familiar with this conceptual fiction. Everything he's just taught you, yeah. Please check for Optics for Beginners page before continuing. I mean, that is brilliant sarcasm. I like that. I really like that as a sarcastic way of saying, if you don't get, I'm just flagging you. Yeah, you're a retard. Go back to page 1, you muppet. Anyway, I've not seen that before. It's almost as nice as this bit. I love because everything I've just banged on about here's the Pope, like, castigating Catholicism. And none of it's real. None of the sacraments that we made are actually real. It's just our stuff, so that you can understand it. And I'll stay away from Catholicism. I'll draw it back to the sacrament is a ray. Yeah, so fundamentally denies the ray. The thing is used to describe everything to you. But the bit I like is I don't care about that. So you can work your head around a ray. He's denying what? He's denying this medium change, yeah? Because it does not cross any horizontal boundary layers between denser and less dense air in a stratified atmosphere. He's taken away what the anti-flat earthers invoke, yeah? That's what they're trying to claim, even though, as we've demonstrated, that's got nothing to do with Snell's law. He takes it away, yeah? And then, final bit, again, it's a little bit of kudos to him, or is it really? It's a bit like Hans Fritzl, isn't it? You know, when you've got your sex slave in the dungeon after you've done whatever you've done, then you're kind to them and you give them a bit of a mental plaster and you go, don't worry about the ray raping you've just suffered mentally. I know you're struggling. Just realise it's okay.
It's funny.
Rays don't exist.
It's
Rays
funny.
don't really exist. That's the point he makes.
Dude, how can you bring sexual slaves into this?
Because that's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. You're being mentally raped here, yeah? By a man that's just shoved rays firmly in a place where the sun doesn't shine, right? Yeah, and having done so firmly to instill an understanding of how they bend at a rate of R, he's then gone, shh, don't worry about how your brain's breaking right now. Rays don't exist.
They don't exist. What you experienced, they didn't exist. I didn't rape you.
Everything's fine. It's still all true. Yeah. You get me? That's what it's almost abusive after using the term ray so much to get somebody to then at the end say, but don't worry, every bit of problem, because it might not actually make sense what I've said to you, especially when I tried to do everything on the ball and paradoxically contradicted myself. Don't focus on that. Rays don't exist. It's all okay. You can go to bed now. Hot chocolate, job done. Rays don't exist, but light bends around a ball.
Go ahead. Did you have a comment, Brian?
No, I was just agreeing with you with Adam's analogy there.
Yeah. This is a farce. This is farcical, folks.
Not the Disney Channel.
It's not a
rays.
Go ahead, Flatsy. Now go ahead.
No, I was going to say rays don't exist, but parallel light rays.
This has so many reaching branches. I like the ray stuff. The ray stuff it is what it is. All right. He gives it to you, then takes it away. But for me, it's this. Because that fairy tale doesn't cross any horizontal boundaries. What I was speaking about to you earlier, I'm going to stress it again, between denser and less dense air in a stratified atmosphere. See, the stratification is vertically. There are no horizontal density gradients, you freaking glue-sniffing fungus munchers.
It doesn't matter that it can be on a ball or on a flat plane, the stratified atmosphere, yeah? It doesn't matter that. Give them that, right? Don't argue that. He meant it's on a ball with a stratified atmosphere. But he's still making the statement, doesn't cross any horizontal boundaries.
This is the key.
There are no horizontal boundaries created between denser and less dense air. That's El Papa speaking.
I should make that. I'm going to do it right now. Everyone see this? You see that one? Make it red so it'll burn into your retinas. That's the big one. Now, a lot of people, Adam, he likes the rays and stuff in the ray. Like I said, they are what they are. But this horizontal boundaries, I hope everyone's getting this. Right? We're going to get into a little bit more. I got a last section back here. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
It's important because that's what the anti-flat earthers invoke. Now, they may invoke these horizontal boundaries as tangential lines, so multiple horizontal boundaries, but they still invoke them. And I say the head priest or the head baller, no, the head, ball earther, not anti-flat earther, is making these statements, which are contrary to why he's felt the need to make an explanation as to why stuff bends around this ball. And he's changed Snell's law for it, even though he took Snell's law from reality. But this is the point. This is what the anti-flat earthers are invoking. And this is what Andrew Thomas Young, the expert, their citation guy, clearly points out to them, no, what you're invoking doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Laugh about the rays, the boundaries, what we've talked about Snell's law, what we've talked about refraction, does not exist in a stratified atmosphere.
That's vertical.
Doesn't matter whether it's on a ball or a plane. Andrew Thomas Young is on a ball, and he's saying it doesn't exist in his stratified atmosphere, And I assume his is bally, But he can still stratify the atmosphere, but he's still saying it doesn't exist. There's no boundary layers. There's no surface change. There is no medium change.
This is all
fairness, horizontal.
Go ahead. Refracted.
I was just going to say, in all fairness, horizontal doesn't exist on a sphere either.
That's true. We don't want to go down there. I could slope a dope, but I don't want to right now.
You can, but you don't need to hold. You can destroy them with their own citation. This is one of their top priests telling them that what they've invented, anti-flat earthers, is incorrect. It doesn't exist. The thing that they're invoking to explain the black swan it's not there. When they say refraction, you can't get that refraction from stratified atmosphere.
No one could do that right. It's refraction.
No one can do like Superchat like Flatsy, although she's not done any, which is disappointing, guys. Come on.
Hey, I was told to hold off, and there isn't any.
Is there? Oh, no, there is, and there isn't any. Brilliant.
We'll get to that. We're not done with the presentation yet. We still have one more section to go. How about that?
All right. It ends there for me, that's why. You know what I mean? That's the killer. That is the killer to me. I wouldn't start at 1A, I'd start at 5A every single day. Yeah?
Well, you're a 5A type of guy. I'm a 1A type of guy.
I'll turn that into a compliment somehow.
All right. Let's now take paradoxical terrestrial Narnia refraction to its logical ends. Let's do that. And practically demonstrate what happens when you extrapolate from a multi-layered, paradoxical, adulterated, fictional, foundational fairy tale. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's have a little fun. Okay? So, from their alma mater wiki, atmospheric refraction near the ground produces mirages. Such refraction can also raise or lower, stretch or shorten the images of distant objects without involving mirages. That's a little preamble to get you greased up. Now we have wiki again. However, this time it's cited number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is the weather doctor, and number 2 is our favorite guy, Andrew Thomas Young from San Diego State University Astronomy Department. I want everyone to pay attention now. Get the Adderall drip out. It's not going to take too much. You can just drip it. You don't need to central line it. Okay? Listen closely. While mirages are the best known atmospheric refraction phenomena, Looming and similar refraction phenomena do not produce mirages. Mirages show an extra image or images of the mirage object, while looming, towering, stooping, and sinking do not. Now, there's 5 of them. There's 5 fairy tale atmospheric refraction types or effects. Count them with me. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Everyone got that at this point? Good. No inverted image is present in those phenomena either. Depending on atmospheric conditions, the objects, that's going to become very important here in a few minutes, can appear to be elevated or lowered, stretched or stooped. These phenomena can occur changing the appearance of different parts of the objects in different ways. Sometimes these phenomena can occur together with a true mirage. La-di-da-di-da. So everyone got that, right? Let's go over it again. There are 5 effects of refraction according to Andrew Thomas Young, subject matter expert. Let's do them again. All 5. Mirages, towering, stooping, sinking, looming. Let's now apply each to the black swan photo and evaluate their effectualness. Let's go ahead and do that. So, guys in Discord, you're going to have to picture the black swan photo. I'm sure it's not hard for you. Okay? Out there in YouTube land, they're looking at it. We're going to take each one of these monkeys and we're going to apply, see if they apply, and evaluate their effectualness. How about that? Logically follows? So, mirages. From above. Mirages show an extra image or images of the mirage object. My question, in the black swan photo, is the horizon miraged in this photo? Is there an extra horizon or horizons in this black swan photo? No. Nope. Non sequitur. Uh-oh. That's 1 down. Let's do 2 and 3 together. Towering and stooping. From above. Towering and stooping change the apparent shape of the object itself. With towering, objects appear stretched. With stooping, objects seem to be shortened. Question. Is the horizon changing shape, i.e., is the horizon stretched or shortened in the black swan photo in front of you? Nope. Non sequitur. Laughingly so. You're running out of choices. You only got 2 left there, baltards. Let's try sinking. From William Jackson Humphreys, Physics of the Air. Sinking. Sinking is the opposite of looming. In sinking, stationary objects that are normally seen above the horizon. I digress here, folks. Do you see the compare and contrast, the juxtaposition between objects and the horizon? Do you see? It's a relationship between these 2 monkeys. The horizon's not an object. They're Rhodes Scholars. But I digress. I'll start over. Sinking is the opposite of looming. In sinking, stationary objects that are normally seen above the horizon appear to be lowered or may even disappear below the horizon. That is, the objects in relationship to the horizon there, baltards. I got a question for you. Is the horizon lowered or disappeared below the horizon in the black swan photo? You heard me. Is the horizon lowered or disappeared below the horizon in the black swan photo? Nope. It's retarded non sequitur. You only got 1 left. Guess what's going to happen? Looming. I've asked Baltards what looming has been for 8 years along with refraction, and no one has ever given me this definition. I wonder why. From the subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young, San Diego State University, Astronomy Department. Listen up. Looming, the appearance above the horizon of a distant object. We got the same phenomena again. We have a definite distinction between object and what it's doing in relation to the horizon, don't we? But I digress. I'll start over. The appearance, looming, the appearance above the horizon of a distant object that would normally be hidden below it. This is my question. Is the horizon appearing above the horizon in the Black Swan photo, shaking my fucking head? Let me ask you again. Is the horizon appearing above the horizon in this photo, please? Nope. Non sequitur from the Black Friggin' Lagoon. So, the friggin' horizon doesn't ever loom, ass clowns, even in your own paradigm, which we just train wrecked above. Ever, ever, ever does it loom. Baltards wouldn't know what bagak refraction was if it climbed up their arse and started kicking footballs wrapped in Carolina Reaper lace concertina wire. And I just demonstrated it in spades over and over and over again. The end. Questions, comments?
Yeah, I have a question. Like, what do you mean the horizon can't disappear below the horizon? What's this? Why wouldn't it be able to disappear behind the horizon?
Are you retarded?
I just thought it was really funny.
That's my answer.
It's like, but hold on, if the horizon would disappear behind the horizon, then what would you be seeing? You know? it's just gone. It's like there's no border there. It just disappears, and suddenly it's the sky. You don't see any separation. It's just nothing.
That's it.
The horizon has disappeared behind nothing.
I might say something about looming. Looming never existed. Looming requires a geometric horizon. So all looming ever was two effects that were called looming as opposed to being detailed for what they were. One was the effect we see when we see a ship appearing to float, when it's just, well, according to official sources, the sky, let's just say, mirroring onto the water, giving the effect of an horizon in front of the ship, where the ship is floated above it, right? And even Mick West agreed that that's not looming, right? Even he had to swallow the pill and go, yeah, that's not looming. That's just the sky mirroring onto the ocean. The other effect that was mistaken as looming, the other effect is when you have an inferior mirage happening at what appears to be the horizon. Because it's so far away, what's happening is that the bottom of a boat appears to be water. So you think from your position it seems as if the ship is floating above the horizon, but it isn't. When you zoom to it, it's an inferior mirage at the bottom of the ship. And that's what it is. So they are the type of effects that they would call looming, because without investigating what they were, because there was confirmation bias for them, looming turned up. Looming does not exist. It has never been demonstrated because it requires a geometric horizon. It requires the Earth to be a globe, which it is not. So there is no such thing as looming. It's nonsense. There never was.
That I agree with that sentiment. that's the point, isn't it? All of those definitions are with respect to the horizon. So when something's looming and it's looming above the horizon, that statement in their world is it's the object is actually below the curvature of the Earth, but because of looming, it's raising up above the curvature of the Earth. And all of those definitions are with respect to the horizon. And I think what we're saying at the end there is, so, given your rhetoric and all these definitions, anti-flat earthers and the rumpus, this is where the rumpus was caught out being a liar, remember, is what the anti-flat earthers do is now make the horizon loom with respect to the horizon. You can have all these things and argue what they are and how we interpret them on a ball or a flat earth. It doesn't matter. They're all defined with respect to the horizon. Yeah? So that's the point. Now, does the horizon loom? Does it dip? Does it stoop? Is it mirage? Not if it's the thing that all of those things are in reference to. It would seem in their initial claims that everything was fixed and rigid to this geometric. How's it working out for you, Riffy, by the way? This geometric horizon. But now the anti-flat earthers claim the horizon does all the things that Andrew Thomas Young says happen with respect to it. So that's the point I'd focus on, not necessarily each individual definition, because we can look at them, and when we view them from from that perspective viewpoint, as opposed to obstruction due to curvature, they all become very different. That's why we can have different horizons, things being obscured one day and not the next. You can't if you've got this geometric imposition, this hill in the way. Everything moves in respect to. It was their definition, not ours.
I haven't heard anyone bring up the term looming since the Black Swan came out. Nobody. Because they have to claim that the horizon is loomed above the horizon. This is what they have to claim. And the horizon they're claiming is loomed above, they can never show you because of the horizon that's looming above it. And that horizon that's looming above it, the calculations for that are based on a non-measurement of this other horizon that they can't show you and they can't measure to because of the other horizon that's loomed above it. Do you know what I mean? It's nonsense upon nonsense upon nonsense. But they never say anything about an object being loomed above the horizon. You never hear that anymore. They just stopped making that claim because now they have to claim the horizon is constantly refracted.
Hey, that's why the rumpus was kicked. Because for 3 or 4 years, the horizon was something that things loomed with respect to. And it all changed when when he went off to do his ray tracing. Ray tracing. Rumpus. Yeah. He's still yet to prove. Then the only way out then is to change the definition of all these things that Andrew Thomas Young, their guru, has already clearly defined. The only way out to maintain the ball is to redefine it now and allow the horizon to loom with respect to itself. It's just laughable.
So what you going to do, flat earthers? I'll bet you tomorrow. I'll bet you this evening. I'll have a Baltard bring refraction up and you'll let them go, won't you? It's going to happen.
They will. They will. After this, basically directly after this, you probably could go to somewhere on Discord or somebody's show and there's going to be refraction being handed to the ballers.
Well, I hope we've gone through a few bits tonight, you pile of pessimists, that empower people to deal with it. It's not difficult. Take them to their gurus. Yeah.
Well, the chat's very engaged with their conversation about refraction. They're having their own little back and forth about it in all kinds of ways. And Brenda, that person that I quoted earlier from the chat, I think it's Brenda, talks like Brenda, has the symbol of Brenda, but has been continually flapping on about, no, it all works, and it's just never stops trying to contradict everything that's been said. Like even during QE's presentation and everything.
You can make anything work with a variable constant, can't you?
Hey, once you can admit in your face self-contradicting statements, then anything goes, right? Right? Once you can slip a self-contradiction in unseen, you have carte blanche. It's like, now it's all on them. You can just say whatever.
How about the nuh-uh?
Yeah, that's a classic.
Well, if we think about it, what is it they're looking for people to do? The anti-flat earthers. They're looking for flat earthers, or people who are just normal people, normal globers, to live in the same contradiction that they live in. Because that's the only way that they can keep justifying it, is to get people who are either flat earthers or just everyday normal people, globers, to accept the contradictions they accept. That's the only way it'll be okay to them. And the less people that accept them, the more the people go against those contradictions, like refraction being a brilliant example of that, the more crazy they're going to get. Their level of crazy at present is, I couldn't have predicted I couldn't have predicted that. I knew they were going to go a bit mad, but this is the level, the things that are being said out there with a straight face, the things some of these people are saying with a straight face. You can literally see them on camera saying it. It's kind of shocking.
Yeah, but it's all the trend, Ryan. It's all the trend. I mean, just look at the freaking news. It's all the rage. Like, they're all doing it. So the population is bound to just start to follow suit, right? To do the same thing and to get really blatantly contradicting in your face because it's okay now, sort of. People let it go. Or they seem to.
Well, to be able to say to yourself, the black swan, that's just refraction, and just walk away. Just say, oh, that's just refraction, without ever thinking about what refraction is, or investigating how it could be refraction or anything else. That's just refraction, and turning around and walking away and buying an ice cream or whatever these people do. Like,
right.
How did they do that?
Well,
how can you just walk away from that statement?
Because they don't really want to know what it really is or what is the truth. They just want to feel safe in the paradigm where they're at. And so it's a social defensive response. And it's basically to not take anything serious about it, not to confirm or anything.
Superchat.
Superchat.
So, Russ Bonanno, maybe? Is it? Yeah. Horizontal density gradient. Laugh out loud. Wouldn't be surprised if we started hearing a claim for a horizontal pressure gradient next. Fantastic show. Thanks.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Thanks. That's exactly what they're saying. Density and pressure are directly proportional. That's what they're saying, Russ. Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying.
That is the point. It's because we're dealing with gases, density, pressure. I wouldn't say they're interchangeable, but the pressure, the amount of molecules per centimeter cubed is. You're talking about the same thing.
Yes,
and you're understanding it. Yeah,
directly. Adam, use my term. Use my phrase. It's correct. They're directly proportional.
Yeah. And to all things, the intent is the same. And that's what these guys are invoking. A slight density change of the same thing. Well, that's not. Where's the boundary? Yeah. Remember what's been mentioned tonight, yeah? Where's the boundary? I've got slightly more dense polystyrene at the bottom. You know what I mean? Where's the boundary? If it's lighter at the top than it is at the bottom, what is the boundary there? Doesn't meet the criteria for the definition. Heroes, I'm coming to you. Yeah, that's the point, and I think Ross is recognising it. It doesn't matter how I was going to say. It doesn't matter how they want to describe it. You're just going to show them that it doesn't exist, and their own experts and show that what they're invoking is debunked by their own experts. That's, I hope, what people have got from tonight's. In a number of nice, cute ways. 5A being the best.
No, it's not the best, but it's the funniest. It's one of the funny. I don't know which. I'm 1A is the best for me because it's a clean. It's a clean kill. But I can understand 5A. I got you.
Nice to lay somebody's entrails out clean in front of them before they realise that their entrails are actually in front of them and no longer in their guts.
That's refraction chitlins for my wolf pups.
If you guys want a good laugh, look at my rolls.
Your rolls? Superchat. That's a good one. Yeah, I just seen it. That's too funny. Who did that?
Be with the buzz.
Yeah, that's too funny, man. Yeah. Let's get into a frenzy. Give her a chance, folks. I mean, her role is super chat.
My son loves it when I say it now. So if I say it and you hear him, it's because he hears me say it, and then he's just got to be like, all over it.
Yeah, too funny.
I just wanted to say I enjoyed it. It was very informative, and I don't recall this ever being broken down in such an elaborated way. So I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Could I just make the point that nothing that was mentioned here tonight is over 6 and over 7 over 6 or greater than 7 over 6 or technically none of it is that, because everything that was referenced from the likes of Andrew Thomas Young or any other, or let's just say we'll use him as the main example, that's all based around, even though he pushed the 7 over 6 or he's still trying to come up with a way for light to be bending. It's like, no, it's the unbending of your globe. That's what 7 and greater than 7 over 6 or is. It's a mathematical unbending of your globe so you can see an horizon in a position it can't be on. It can't be in on a globe. It has to be a globe because I can see this horizon that completely debunks my globe. That's what it is.
Right.
You can see that horizon. Come on, Aaron, or whoever.
It's purely math. It's not based on anything physics related.
Yeah, there's no they try, like someone like Lieu, because I've dealt with him recently on this issue. He'll try and come up with calculations that are based on a gradient, and there's this temperature and that temperature, and he'll try and come up with a lot of nonsense, not realizing that he's still trying to bend light. No, light has not been bent. The globe has been unbended. That's what's happening. It's always unbended at the rate of at least 7 over 6 R, and it becomes more unbended from that point. It's never less unbended than that. But they're basically, they don't, sorry, you go ahead, Super Chat.
I even did the sniff.
You say it's a super chat.
Super chat. Roger Ledwell, still waiting for that supermodel.
Yeah,
I have to do super like that.
Thanks, Roger. Aren't we all? Carry on.
But Yeah, just to continue on what I'm saying is that 7/6 and greater than 7/6, or 7/6 is the least amount, and it's a constant, as in there's always some ratio over 6 or at play. That's what they must claim, because the horizon moves, right? It's never where they need it to be, and even if it appears close to where they need it to be, it'll be somewhere else 10 minutes later. That's the problem with the horizon. So what they must claim is that they live on a constant. What you're seeing is the constant changing of the amount of, let's just say, rate of slope of an arc length, right? That's what they're actually claiming that you are experiencing, that what you're living on, that you experience an arc length that's changing in its rate of slope on a regular basis.
That's exactly what 7/6R. 7/6R is a description of rate of change of slope. Yeah, not just a slope, rate of change of slope that they're describing at a ratio of 7/6R. That's exactly what it is. That it's not just a slope. Yeah, because the slope, unfortunately, the slope's 0, but that rate of change, yeah. That's what they're describing, a rate of change of slope when they invoke 7/6R. That's what 7/6R is in the equation of the line. It's the M. Yeah.
A change in the rate of slope. That's what it is. 7/6 and anything greater than 7/6 is a constant change in the rate of slope. That's what it is. Because that's what they need to say. That the slope, the change in that rate of slope that you're supposedly witnessing is changing, moving the horizon further away or closer.
They're going to have that's going to cause a problem for them, because if that,
absolutely,
yeah, because I'm going to slope a dope then.
Exactly, because you see the horizon, I see the horizon, everyone sees the horizon, besides of a dip angle, right, that you have with your eye line. Right, if you're looking at the sea horizon and your eyes aren't at sea level, if they're anywhere above sea level, then there's a dip to the sea level, right? So when you're looking at that, you have a dip to this point, right? But that dip is a straight line. It's still straight. You're still seeing in a straight line.
Don't worry about the dip.
In a straight line.
Don't worry about the dip.
The point is
that there's a horizon.
The point is that the dip is important to put in.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Nope. Don't want no dip.
What are you talking about?
No. No.
Okay, you'll have to tell me what you're talking about then.
No. The dip. No, I don't have to tell you what I'm talking about. The dip angle and this dip horse shit has nothing to do with that argument.
I'm not saying it does. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, don't. When I slope a dope, I have nothing to do with dip. Nothing.
But I didn't bring slope. That's not what I said. I said the dip that your eye line will be to the horizon is still going to be a straight line. That dip is a depression angle, which is a straight line. So my point being is, no matter where the horizon is, right? No matter where the horizon is, you have a straight line of sight to the horizon. You always have a straight line of sight to the horizon, which is why they need to add in as much 7/6 or as much over 6R as they need to, or they add in, as much over 6R as they need to to come up with how you can see this horizon in a straight line.
Holy shit.
So that's not bending, that's not the bending of light. You're seeing this horizon in a straight line. So then my point is, Ruhif and them are claiming that light is bending. It's not. They don't understand what over 6R is. They're not getting it. And over 6R, where slope comes into that, is what they're actually claiming is a change in the rate of slope over distance over time. That's what they're claiming. Then the slope comes into
it. You missed the slideshow, or maybe are you watching this on a live stream?
I caught the Batman shadow, but just give it a second.
Yeah, make sure you turn on the YouTube. I want you to take a look at the slideshow. Let's see.
You got Vlad on Flat Earth. He sent.
Superchat.
Thanks, QE, Adam. Yeah. Thanks, QE, Adam, Brian, and everyone in Discord.
You're welcome, Vlad. Yeah, I hope you guys are all getting it out there. I mean, you could really take them to the woodshed with this. And the presentation's there. I'm not taking it down. If you didn't catch it, if there were interruptions or we went too fast, just go back into it and make it your own. Take one of the. You don't have to have all the points. I gave you. There's a lot of arrows in your quiver, per se. So just take one or two of them, master them, and they're finished. It's all over. If you need the citations just because you can't snatch them off the presentation, just a real easy thing to do is just take like the first sentence, just print out the first sentence in the citation that you see on the video and just pump it into Google, and then the citation itself will, or the source will pop up, and just copy it for yourself. You guys follow? And if by chance, and this is going to happen, you do that and nothing comes up, that citation doesn't come up, hit the Wayback Machine and type it in again. And then it'll take you back there because I didn't. It's out there. It's on the web. And just because maybe their website went down or they decided to update their website doesn't take away the evidence for the citations, if you guys follow me with that. Yep, there you go. Shut up, Adam.
Oh, I'm not wanting to round out. I'm wanting to go down the panel, if that's.
No, we don't have to round out yet. I'm not in any big hurry right now.
That's what I want to do, but I don't want to just go off and start making other points. I'd just like to see what the panel thinks of what's been tonight. And I suppose the question I'm going to start with D-Rose, and then I'll go a bit more logically, is what are you going to say the next time somebody says to you, refraction? D-Rose.
Did you try bagocking and it didn't work?
But that's what I was going to say.
Start with your Bacart, D-Rose, and then tell me your answer.
Refraction? Did you say refraction? Okay. Your Earth curve is dead. There is no boundary. There is no horizontal plane interchange. There's nothing for the vertical to go through if you're talking about atmosphere, because atmosphere doesn't exist because gases don't behave and make shapes. So what are you refracting? We're dealing with water? We're dealing with air? Your radius is destroyed if you talk about refraction. Because refraction only exists in your head and you're dealing with the horizon.
He's got some watchwords in there, Adam, but I don't think he's got it together.
There was one watchword. There was this one I'm listening for. Now, there is, but I'm not going to give a critique. Thank you, D-Rose. There is a phrase I'm looking for that's going to win a prize. Weekend with QE, the prize. So you might not want to win it, but I'm going to go down. But there's a little bit I'm just asking for. So so I'll move on. Arwin, Brian, we're not doing that. Flat seat. We're very busy looking for super chat. So Lumpy, next time a baller goes to you, refraction.
That's not right. That's not right. You didn't do it right.
All right. You can ask the question next time after the Lumpy answers. On Lumpy.
Say, yeah, I'd ask where the two media, in fact, I posted on in live chat a tool I use, which as the medium changes, it'll read a different number so that I can know what my coolant ratio, water ratio is on multi-million-dollar machines, and it's really picky for some reasons, like small.
Lumpy, you're roboting. Lumpy.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to post the window.
Lumpy.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, your mic's something's up. Try to drop out and come back in.
Transform and roll out.
Try it again. Radio check. Lost 1. This is lost 3. Or you lost 2 over.
See, can it be heard?
Go ahead. Say a complete sentence.
Yeah, I'm trying. I stepped outside. Anyway, can it be heard better?
I guess that's a complete. Go ahead.
Anyway, so I posted in live chat a tool that I use regularly. It's called a refractometer, and
That's
it needs
copyrighted.
right. Anyway, so it's able to tell me the density of the media so as I add coolant, the ratio to water changes, right? And it can be really picky for some tools like small taps and things, because I'm a machinist. That's what I do for a living. I learned a lot today. Not that I wasn't aware that it wasn't two media, but in regard to the tool and how it would function, it wouldn't work without that glass piece, right? Because it needs that interface, right? Kiwi, am I right in that thought?
No, you got it. Yep, you're all over.
That's okay. Yep. So that was one of the reasons I posted that, so to have a practical demonstration for people, so they can maybe look at it and say, "Oh, okay." Anyway, I really appreciate what you do, Kiwi. You're probably my favorite teacher. I always butter your buns. I apologize. Anyway, just recently lost a job again, so otherwise I'd be throwing you money. I'm kind of like in a spot, but that doesn't matter. I'm not whining. So it's what it is.
That's okay.
I got to stop talking about flat Earth at work. It's killing me, literally. I can't do it, and then I can't shut up, so I'm stuck with this situation anyway. So anyway, the people got butthurt when I said, "All right, I'll give you my Cadillac if you can demonstrate Coriolis." I just picked one, you know what I mean? One that I know they can't demonstrate. Anyway, they didn't want a Cadillac and blah blah blah, and now I'm not working there anymore. And dang man. Anyway, blah.
Damn. That thanks a lot for the addition. I like Adam, were you ready for that?
I mean, number one, congratulations. On the upside, if you email me after this or get in touch with me through Discord or Skype, we'll arrange the weekend in the spring when you can go and spend some time with QE.
He doesn't need to. He's got it, man.
He won the prize.
He did
win the prize.
He did. That was really good. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, mate. Wicked.
Thanks, Lumpy. Appreciate it.
I mean, there's no point asking anymore now, but I'll see if anybody wants to comment on it.
Hey, Adam, was the word interface the word you want word? You're telling me that
if it's not been made clear, then I'm going to carry on down the panel. So, owlishness, are you there?
Uh-oh.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, owlishness, what are you doing in here?
Just listening.
That's too funny. How's that political, sir? How does the pathetic little weasel dicks over there doing?
No swearing.
Weasel dicks or Tootsie Roll dicks?
No swearing.
How'd you like that? The Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Go ahead, Adam. Sorry for the interruption. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, you don't need to interrupt because I'm not allowed to ask the question. So, owlishness, what are you going to say the next time a baller says to you, over to you, QA?
She's a baller, Adam.
It doesn't matter. She's listened tonight, haven't you? So,
yeah.
If I have to rephrase the question, will you ever go refraction again to a flat earther then, I suppose? And what will be your response?
Probably not. I never really thought refraction was like that good of an argument anyway, but probably not. I mean, there's a few good points there.
I really like you.
Thank you.
You what?
Yeah, he said he really likes you.
Oh, that's rare.
I mean, in a creepy way. I meant in an honest, in terms, I'm not going to stalk you.
No,
in terms of, as a response, that was very honest and genuine. Thank you.
No problem.
Right, Plum Bob, what are you going to do next time a baller says to you, come on, Q? If you don't do the Bogart refraction, QE.
Bagak! Refraction.
There you go. Right, Plum Bob.
Well, it'll be just that. Refraction.
No one can do the Bagaks good. You guys got to practice that. Just on your own throughout the day. Just Bagak! Refraction.
I want to see if a baller can do it better than these flat earthers. Owlishness, can you give us a go at?
Yeah, sure. Refraction.
That's not bad.
Not bad. It's probably better than mine. To be fair.
Refraction.
That's not bad either. You guys, now it's starting to come around.
I think I
That
got
sounded
it.
more like a parrot.
Bagak! Go on, Adam.
Don't know, Plum Bob, are you happy with that answer or?
Yeah, I'm good with the answer, but the fact that I got to practice the Bagaks, the neighbors already think I'm nuts. This is not going to end well.
Every art has its sacrifice, doesn't it? Okay, right.
Not only that, one of my neighbors actually has chickens, and they'll think I'm talking to them.
There you go. You could get away with it more. So you should ask the next question. So you can ask our Duncan the question. Our Duncan, are you there?
What happens when you tell a chicken about the black swan?
That's not our Duncan.
It's a good question.
Hi.
That's right.
Is that Duncan? Okay.
Yeah, that's where I got my name from, you guys. Appreciate it.
So, sir, could I ask you, what are you going to say the next time somebody says
Bagak!
refraction to you?
This is getting silly, man. That you don't have to put the pressure on him.
It's no answer. I'll move on. Rayleigh, if you answer the question, you at least get to ask the question to the next person, which saves me constantly begarking. Rayleigh, what are you going to say to the next baller that says refraction to you?
Refraction. You're getting everyone doing the Bagaks, Adam.
I know. I think we're missing the point.
I think so.
Does anybody else want to? All right, let's just go quickly. Ross, do you want to begark?
I don't want to do that, but I do want to answer the question, I guess.
Well, you've got to be asked the question first, haven't you?
Fair enough.
Who wants to ask Ross the question? Plum had a go. So, Plum, do you want to ask him the question?
Sure. What are you going to say the next time a baller says refraction?
No,
When you bring up-
no.
Oh, geez, I'm not asking to the next one then.
Come on, you've got to do it properly. It's not just refraction, is there? Come on, Plum Bob.
Okay, what are you going to say next time a baller uses refraction?
No, that's not what he wanted. He wanted, what are you going to do the next time a baller says, Bagak! Refraction. That's what Adam's looking for.
What's the question?
Okay. My neighbors are watching. Okay, so what are you going to do the next time a baller says to you, Bagak! Refraction?
That was so
Brilliant.
So when they bring up refraction, they're invoking terrestrial refraction, and I thought it was pretty cool how QE highlighted the the consequent and necessary antecedent relationship, which I believe were, in order to have terrestrial refraction, gases have to be curved, and gases have no inherent shape, and you need a radius value, and that's kind of circular because we're using these observations to validate the radius value. So that's just another begging the question fallacy.
Oh, Adam, that was pretty darn good. See, he's a 1A and 1B'er.
I was going to say there's no fives. There's no fives.
Yeah, I'm actually about 45 minutes behind on the live stream, so I'm going through and taking notes. But yeah, that was great stuff, man.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good answer. Way to go, Russ B. Yep, you got it. Good job.
All right, thanks for the show.
Yeah.
I've got ratings, but we're not finished yet. So, TFHM. Russ, you need to get ready to ask the question. What are you going to say? And I'll hand over to Russ. Ask him the question.
You there, TFHM? I'm not doing it twice. You there?
Nope.
What about we got a Glober. Homstant.
Homst.
I like these.
Gesundheit.
Gotta ask him, Russ.
What are you gonna do the next time a baller brings up refraction?
He's stonewalling you.
And there's nothing there. Maybe ask it again, and we'll ask it to Arwen. On Russ, ask Arwen, as we got nothing from TFH and thingy. So I know Arwen.
Crap,
Brian.
really?
Arwen, you're gonna get to ask it to Brian. Oh, good. What goes around comes around.
Arwen, what are you gonna do the next time a baller brings up refraction?
Well, two things can happen. One, I can be like, well, like I did, sigh and just like, can we not do this? And the other one would be going into it and then having a pretty long explanation in all the different departments. Kind of like the presentation has been, but not as detailed as that. I would do my own version of it. Explain about the mediums, how it's an angle change. It doesn't continually keep curving in a pretty homogeneous medium. And that, yeah, the horizon cannot be displaced in relation to the horizon, right? Because the horizon in the real world isn't physical. It's not geometric. It's an apparent effect that has to do with the resolution limit of the observing medium. And yeah, that the horizon is definitely not refracted. It's not a refracted globe. And if they insist, I'd go into the Arwinian paradox and that it's actually all mathematical. Because the entire terrestrial refraction 7/6R math is a conceptual, mathematical framework that isn't based on anything physics related, optics or otherwise.
Okay, I'll take that as an answer. Arwen, ask Brian. Come on, Brian, are you ready?
Well there, Brian. What would your answer be if some baller told you refraction in response to the Black Swan question?
You forgot the cock refraction.
Oh, I did.
The most important part.
Refraction.
Thing is, I
Would
wasn't
you
Irish.
say-
You actually sounded like a pirate who would have had a parrot. Do, but
True. Yeah, you're right. I slipped into pirate mode. I tried Irish. It turned pirate.
ask the
But
question.
that's all Hollywood Irish is, a load of pirate talk.
Yeah, it is,
That's
isn't
all
it?
it is.
Yeah.
Hollywood Irish accent is pirate talk, yeah. It's a good observation. Now, as soon as Adam said that, I said, yeah, I could never put my finger on it. That's what it is, a load of pirate talk. But to answer the question, refraction, you say. Are you talking about a change in the behavior of light through different media, or are you talking about a mathematical unbending of an unmeasured globe Earth? Which one?
Yeah. See, Brian is the sort of expert in this area, so he's going to answer this differently. So he's good to go, Adam.
Yeah, that's cool. Brian, you're going to have to ask me, and then I'll ask you, QHC.
No, you're not
The
going
circle shall complete. Come on, Brian.
Okay. Adam, what are you going to do the next time a bowler asks, sorry, not that again. Adam, what are you going to do the next time a bowler answers a question for you with the claim, gabak, refraction?
What's this gabak? You turned it around.
It sounded right in my head until it came out.
We're a little dyslexic, aren't we?
Yeah, I am.
Gabak.
Gabak.
I'm gonna tell Adam. That is so classic. I'm gonna start doing it that way.
Brian said it like he read it off the sheet.
It was, wasn't it? It was like text talk. Gabak refraction.
Gabak
refraction. I'll tell you what I'd say, Brian. I'd say refraction. I assume you're invoking Snell's law here.
Uh-oh.
I assume they'd then say, well, of course, yeah, because that's what refraction is. I don't have a problem otherwise. And at that point, I'd ask them to show me the two media and their surface boundary. Huey, what would you do the next time a baller says to you, refraction?
Gabak refraction. That's what I'm gonna do. I'd ask
That's
him,
what you always do.
If you're asking me what I would do, which is kind of silly because I'm the one that gave the damn presentation, I would ask them to define it first. That's what I would do. That's the first step. And after they do that, then it's all, you know where it goes. Yep, that's it. That's what I would do. Good.
I just defined it for him. Yeah, and that's all you have to do. Define it for them.
Why?
As soon as it's actually, as soon as it's defined, they're debunked, aren't they?
Yes.
That's the ultimate reality to this.
So I don't define it for them. That's the question I ask them. Since they refraction, they brought up the topic. So the onus is on them to define it. I'm not going to define it for them. No, I never do.
Well, maybe that's the difference between me and you. You'll let them sweat. I would try to expedite the conversation and go, as I said, do you mean by that you're invoking Snell's law? Yeah. A little lead, not a lot, because it's the only place they can and should go with the word refraction, as we've shown in the presentation. There's nothing wrong with a little nudge in the right direction.
Isn't there a Latin saying about expediency? I think there is a Latin saying about, and I got it on the tip of my tongue, but I can't reach it. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, that's why I give them an option. They either are they talking about a change in the behavior of light through different media, right, which will be Snell's law. So they either have that or they have mathematical unbending of an unmeasured globe. Like, either one is not what they're looking for. They're looking for to use just a single medium, a single medium, and a gradient of that medium, a horizontal gradient of right, something that doesn't exist, of that medium, to come up with bending light, which is not 7 or greater than 7 over 6R. Because that's what, but 7 and greater than 7 over 6R is what they're trying to claim. Because they don't know what they're claiming. They don't know what they're claiming. They don't really understand what refraction is. You have to say, even the most well-known anti-flat earthers. And they don't know what their own claim is. that they're trying to hijack refraction and somehow fit it into their own claim, but then they're talking about bending light, which is not their claim. So I give them an option: you either go to what actual refraction is, or we're going to talk about these calculations that mean nothing in reality. It's either one or the other, which is not what they want. What they want to do is this grey area in the middle that allows them to live in a paradox. It's like, no.
So what about the curved atmosphere being a paradox within a paradox?
Do you mean like curved air without containment?
It's just atmosphere is already a paradox, and then
Correct.
they add the word curved to atmosphere. It's, I don't know, it's just funny because the redundancy is already pretty funny, but it's also a double paradox.
Yep.
No,
Well,
curved, it's not a double
it's worse
paradox.
than that.
Curved atmosphere is a prerequisite to allow the continuance of the paradox. That make
Yeah,
you
okay.
can
Well,
destroy it as soon as you go air doesn't curve, it destroys the paradox.
I'm going to be sitting pretty on asking where the plane interface between the two media are.
Within that
And-
one media.
Yeah, within one medium. I mean, where is their horizontal plane interface? And how would they have a vertical interface?
You're gonna need a curved triangle for that, I bet.
But they're all, see, this is something I said to Lieu recently, and he didn't like it at all. He called me things, different stuff like that. But I pointed out that, like, the only reason the claim of a globe exists, it all comes back to Eratosthenes. And Eratosthenes claiming that we receive almost parallel light. Well, they say almost exactly parallel light from a massive sun that gives us the shadows we see in reality on a globe of radius 3959 miles. So that light can't be bending. So if you think light is bending, right, through an atmosphere, and that's what you're seeing, no, that is not the globe claim. That parallel light from the sun has to give you the shadows that we see in reality. That's the whole point of the parallel light from the sun. So if light is bending, then the light from the sun would have to be bending. And as the horizon moves closer and further away from you, as it can do within just the space of 45 minutes, then that would mean the shadows that you're seeing would have to change, and not change with the rate of the movement of the sun. They'd have to change with the rate of the over 6R, because then things are being warped in a different way. So you can't, you know what I mean? The whole lot is a mess. But the bending light is in opposition to Eratosthenes, which is the beginning and the base and the backbone of the globe, which is the parallel light from the sun. That's the backbone of the globe. But that all goes out the window, right? Because you can't have a globe if you don't have parallel light from a massive sun, because you can't explain the shadows. But that goes out the window if you claim that that light you're getting from the sun is bending. What kind of weird shadows would that give us? It wouldn't match the movement of the sun. Do you know what I mean? It's a circle of nonsense that doesn't ever make any sense. If they want to stick with Eratosthenes and actually have a globe, then they can't claim bending light. But then they also can't claim over 6R if they're going to stick with Eratosthenes, because that will then change the over 6R part, will then warp what the shadows should look like in accordance to what they're claiming. The whole lot is a mess. But they can't have curved light. This is for ballers. You can't have curved light and have a globe. I'm sorry, that's another paradox. You can't, because the globe only exists because parallel light from the sun is claimed to create the shadows we see in reality on a globe of 3959 radius. You can't have that and have that light being manipulated before it creates a shadow. You can't. I'm sorry.
So what you're saying to me is that whoever wanted to push this globe nonsense jumped the gun and had to circle around a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, they keep on having to deny, they keep on having to compartmentalize, as Arwen says, different things. when they say curved light, they're completely forgetting that they need the light from the sun to be hitting the globe in parallel. Now, rays of light don't exist, but this is what they must claim: parallel rays of light from the sun hitting the globe to create the shadows we see in reality. Right? This is what they needed to say. This is the calculation they need. This is from Eratosthenes. But the bending of light would make that impossible. You could not have parallel light hitting a globe and giving us those shadows if the globe is under such refracted conditions that it's unbending to the observer. You know what I mean? The whole lot, none of it works together. That's the problem.
Well,
all of their stuff doesn't work together.
So that's why they needed to hop into this Narnia vacuum of space place to reify the already nonsensical claim of the globe.
Well, yeah, they have a load of square segments, right, cut out, and they have one square, and they have a load of triangles and circles, and then they have a load of circular portions cut out. They have one circle, a load of squares and triangles, and then they have another area that's called triangle pieces cut out, but then they have a load of squares and circles for those, but one triangular piece. But really all they actually have is one square into one square piece, into one square segment. That's what they have, which is Eratosthenes. And as soon as you change that, you don't have the globe. The whole globe is based on that. That's where it comes from. Eratosthenes, the claim of Eratosthenes, I don't care whether he existed or not, it's an official claim that if the sun is big and far away, then we receive parallel light from that sun, then that explains the shadows we see in reality. And he had to say that because he just measured a flat earth with his elevation angle, right? But if the sun is close and local, then the earth is flat. It's one or the other. So for them to claim a globe, then they can't have that sunlight that's supposed to be hitting their globe parallel, right? These light rays, things that don't exist, hitting their globe parallel. That can't happen if the light is bending. That means they're in opposition to Eratosthenes. That's what it means. They're anti-globers at that point. It's not just anti-flat earthers. They don't realize it.
There's another paradox in that. If you draw it orthographically, if they're going to make the claim that the reason for possible divergence is because of the spherical surface of the sun, because it's so big and so far away, which is their claim, these rays hit us virtually parallel. Draw it orthographically. If that was the case, then the sun would fill the whole of the sky all the time until it was night, until we rotated the other way. Because if the rays are parallel, then they can't. And I'm on the Earth, yeah. And even if I'm at the North and South Pole, I'm still only taking up such a minute part of the sun. Think of it in orthographic view. Now, if the rays are parallel, I can never see the illumination of the North and the South because the rays are parallel. What they're claiming, but you would never see anything other than just a bright light, equivalent to your linear parallel perspective due to the way in which the light travels, equivalent to the sun. You'd only see your spot. All you'd see is the sun. We don't see that. We see something with divergent rays. Irrespective of the distance, it's kind of irrelevant, but we see something with divergent rays. There's nothing parallel about them, is there?
No,
do you get my point right? Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. We don't see what they would see. This is where they need to see. This is another paradox. We'll move on to another one, right? Based exactly off of what you just said. That's when they need to bring perspective into it and claim the angular size of the sun is 0.5 degrees on average. And so it only appears small because it's actually very big, but it's really far away.
No, but you can't invoke perspective. Perspective won't apply if all light rays are parallel, will they?
But see, this is the thing.
You require
this is the paradox, though.
Divergent light rays to create perspective. This is a denial of optics from them. And they invoke, this is what I'm saying. If you invoke that, it has implications. If all light is parallel, that's quite a bold claim.
Well, it's quite a bold claim. Yeah, sorry.
It has implications about what could possibly reach you. Yeah? If everything's parallel and it leaves the sun, well, how does something 20, 30 R values distance away from you ever reach you if it's parallel? And it can't, can it? It has to be
Refraction.
completion. Go on, Platty.
I was just saying, refraction. That's how.
What, through a vacuum?
All right, hey guys,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to interrupt the conversation. I got stuff going on. Yeah, so we're gonna have to wrap it up. So it was a great show. Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up. It's a great show. I don't. Aren't we supposed to do something on Tuesday? Somebody was supposed to give a presentation on Tuesday. Yeah,
time zones.
No, do you push it on me, mister? But yes.
No, I was saying I have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's time zones as well. We've got 2 coming up, haven't we? This week's Brian's. Brian, yeah, just give a little summary, Brian, if you would, with regards to what we've got coming up is, well, let me just finish. We've got a ball destroyer, and then we've got something that I'll do the following, which is a little indication of how they're stitching it together with different things, how they stitch a ball together. But Brian's going to give a real good ball destroyer on time zones. Over to you, Brian.
Yeah, okay, Adam. It's just going to show how actual time zones used by celestial navigators using chronometers, how they destroy the globe claim because of what a time zone actually is, and then how many actual time zones there are across certain corresponding latitudes, north and south, and how on a globe they have to be equal, but on a flat Earth they would have to be less south of the equator over the same distance. You'd have to have less time zones, and you do.
Cool.
And more time zones north, and you do.
Cool. Can't wait. That's a great. I like that presentation. So does Betty. All right, Adam. Go ahead and summarize yours, and then take us home.
Yeah. What have we learned tonight? That's what I always like to think, you know? And hopefully people have learned tonight how to deal with the rebuttal of refraction.
That was weak.
Hopefully we've learned tonight how to deal with the rebuttal of what QE will now demonstrate of. If you go. That was worse than mine. I'm going to go with Brian's. A gawk.
Gabok.
Agora. Yep. Yeah.
Gabok refraction. Bagok.
Agora refraction.
Bagora. That's terrible.
More ghost before it hit you. And hopefully we've got a 1A, we've got a 1B. We've also got have some fun with them, get all the way through it all, and take them to a 5A.
You'll never get that far. Hold on.
No, but in all of this, stay strong with the truth that if they're going to invoke refraction relates to Snell's law, which is a change of index of path of the light, yeah, at the point of the medium change, at the surface boundary. Ask them to demonstrate that in their atmosphere, whatever it is, yeah? And if you want to have fun with them, take them to their guru, Andrew Thomas Young. It will destroy any argument, whether it be just with regards to what they're claiming. Because remember, these are baltards, not just globies. These are anti-flat earthers that have invoked this nonsensical nonsense that their gurus deny. Yeah, at worst comes to worst, invoke Andrew Thomas Young. If that fails and they're having a mental breakdown, just kindly and calmly remind them that it's all go away, because fundamentally, it's no such thing as rays. Over to you, QA.
Horizon that we're saying is not physical. It's
No,
refracted.
nothing. You right. Hold your hand out in front of you. Is that your physical hand you're seeing?
Correct.
No, it's not. Hold your hand out in front of you. Is that your physical hand you're seeing?
Correct.
No, it's not. Hold your hand out in front of you. Is that your physical hand you're seeing?
Correct.
No, it's not.